All right, everyone, we are live. It is the first live reaction Dustytron stream of the season. I'm glad to be back, and we've got a good one tonight between the Commanders and the Green Bay Packers. Going to inform all of the socials that we are live. Just getting set up here. All right, we are still getting things up and going. All right, the Instagrammers have been made aware that we are live. After the upload finishes, of course. Okay. Okay. For some, oh, okay, maybe it'll, oh, it does let me do that. Nice. Okie dokie. We should be starting any minute now. Both of these teams, the Packers, I was really impressed with how they just stomped the Lions. I think we'll see tonight if that was the Packers defense or the Packers really getting to that next level, or if it was the Lions going through some growing pains with their new coordinators. So we'll have to wait and see. The Commanders, they had, I want to say, a pretty easy game, and I actually lowered them one in my power rankings this last week because I felt like they should have been able to handle the Giants more. Now, I didn't see too much of the game, so maybe the game was a little bit, the Commanders could have put up more points. They just didn't because they had the game well in hand, but I felt like they could have done a bit more than 21 against the Giants. But that being said, they only allowed 6, which is really good from a defensive standpoint. But that Giants team, if you've watched my season previews this offseason, I was not big on them. I actually, before the Cowboys had a good first game, I still had the Giants at the bottom of the division, whereas the Cowboys, I had at 3. But there was a lot, especially after the Micah Parsons trade, there was a lot of people saying, oh, Dallas is going to be at the bottom of the division, but I didn't really buy onto that. I still feel like the Giants are the worst team in that division. right, I believe we have all of the socials notified. Just gonna check one thing. Yep, everything's looking good. All right, we're gonna get started here any minute. For anyone who's new here, this is the Dustytron channel. We've been posting great content all throughout the off season, and we'll continually every week. We're posting our game picks, we're posting power rankings, and we're having live reaction streams just like this one. So we've had a lot of fun this off season, and I've been really looking forward to this season. Week 1 was crazy. A ton happened in it, a ton of movement in the power rankings, a ton of unexpected outcomes. I think the most surprising one, I thought the Dolphins were going to be like mid this year, but they got absolutely trounced by the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, it was kind of crazy how badly they lost that one. Ready for kickoff here. I think, yeah, the Packers today. Oh, well, let's wait a second. I thought they were slated to wear their white helmets, which is unfortunate because those white helmets, I'm so disappointed with those. All these teams, they have the 3 shell rule. I'm a big uniform guy. I love all the creative things teams can do with this. But when a team just goes for black and white for their alternate shells, I honestly think black works a lot more than white. But yep, they're wearing the white shells today. I'm not a fan of these. There's a excellent green variant. That they that's a flash helmet, and it's so much better than this. They should have adopted that. And they take the kickoff out. Packers are going to be starting this at their own, it looks like about 28-yard line. So let's see. Jordan Love had a really good game against Detroit last week. We'll see what he can do here today against the Commanders defense. The run defense is decent. I think their pass defense, from what I've seen, is a little bit better than their run defense. The pass defense is a little bit better than the run defense. All right, Love breaks the huddle under center. We've got 1st and 10. It is indeed at the 28-yard line. 3 wide receivers, 1 tailback. Hands it off to Josh Jacobs, and Jacobs gets about 4 on the run there. Taken down by Payne. Bringing the pain. Yeah, that's Deron Payne. Believe they just paid him this offseason. All right, we got 2nd and 6. About 14 and a half minutes left. Jordan Love in the shotgun with 2 running backs behind him. And it's another handoff to Josh Jacobs. They love handing him the rock, and that one's only going to go for about 2. So we're facing an early 3rd down for Green Bay right now. Yeah, Jaden Daniels had a good but not spectacular game against the Giants last week. I'm curious to see how he does against this Packers defense, which really shut down the Lions last week. And what was particularly interesting about the Packers last week is that they really shut down the Detroit Lions run game. There's been shifting on the offensive line with Detroit, but I still feel like 2 yards per carry, limiting them to, that was pretty impressive. All right, we've got Dontavian Wicks in motion, I believe. Love throws his way. He gets it and out of bounds. Yes, that is indeed Dontavian Wicks for the 1st down. And for any of those who are watching and like what you see here, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We keep publishing new content throughout the season. All right, we've got 1st and 10. 13 minutes on the clock, and it's a play action to Josh Jacobs, and it's another pass to Wicks, and that one goes for a 1st down, about 13 yards. Yeah, they started out heavy on the run, come out with the play action on 1st down, and Washington bit for it, and another completion to Ontavian Wicks, 2 so far on this drive. It was a nice motion before the play, which got him there. All right, we have a run by Josh Jacobs on 1st down. Looks like it went for a little bit, maybe like 1 or 2 yards. Clock winding down to about 12 minutes left in the quarter. A 5th of the quarter already taken up by this 1st drive by the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, we'll see if Josh Jacobs can keep his touchdown streak going. He had currently has 9 straight games with a touchdown run. That's a pretty good streak. Yeah, 2nd and 9, so that was a 1-yard run. Tucker Kraft in motion. And it's a play action. Love goes across the middle and can't quite get it to Romeo Doubs. He was covered by Marshawn Lattimore. Oh, but there is a flag that might get him for holding or pass interference. Yeah, ever since Lattimore went over to the Commanders, he just hasn't been that superstar that he was with the New Orleans Saints. Maybe it's scheme, maybe it's just him getting older, but yeah, they're going to flag him for a hold here. Looks like he held him off the line there. And the Packers are going to have a 1st down. Yep, that is indeed the call. So 1st down for Green Bay. At the 40-yard line of the Washington Commanders. So making steady progress on this drive. They've gotten 2 1st downs. That one was technically a 3rd, but it was by penalty. We've got the single back formation. Love under center. Jacobs in the backfield, and it looks, yeah, they're going to flag that play dead. Jacobs is actually going to get called for the false start. He flinched. Unless they're going to call this on Washington. No, this is a false start. Yeah, a little flinch by Josh Jacobs in the backfield. That's really rare when you see a false start called on someone who's not an offensive lineman. You see it on receivers sometimes. Very rarely the quarterback, but I have seen that before. But yeah, running back, pretty rare. They don't really move until after the ball is snapped, so unless they're moving in motion. But yeah, this was definitely, he had set himself and he flinched, so pretty obvious there. We've got a 1st and 15, a play action, not as convincing this time, but Love goes down the field, he's got him, man! Oh, he was going for Wicks again, but cannot complete it. It was incomplete at about the Commanders' 2-yard line. Yeah, they take a shot here on 1st down. I mean, why not? You're at the 45-yard line. Maybe get some yards back with a high probability play on the 2nd down. Get yourself back into reasonable field goal range, and then maybe try to get the 1st on 3rd down. But yeah, I am confused. Well, we've got Love in the shotgun here. Back to throws. All right, they do the intermediate play. Get about 5 yards on an out route to Romeo Doubs. So we're going to have a 3rd and about 10. And a 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9. Can Green Bay convert this? It's at the 39-yard line of Washington as we tick close to 11 minutes in the quarter. Love, back to throw. Getting pressure. There's a flag, probably holding. And that's a nice completion to Jaden Reed. They call it a touchdown. I think he was out at the 1-yard line. Jaden Reed looks like he might be hurt. But there was a flag in the area of holding. It looks like it is going against the Packers. So that is a touchdown off the board for Green Bay. And this holding penalty, it's going to bring him back. That's going to put him at the 49-yard line, which really isn't good for field goal range. And Jaden Reed looks like he's in pain. Yeah, I want to say, was that Von Miller? No, it wasn't Von Miller. That got held. That was Dorrance Armstrong that got held. Yeah, the Packers O-lineman has his arm around his neck there. That's not going to work out. The official's going to catch that one every time. Jaden Reed looks like, yeah, it might be an arm injury. So he might be out for the game. We'll see. If you're just tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel. We have all sorts of football content up on the channel. You should go and check it out. We have off-season previews, playoff predictions, and weekly picks and power rankings. Lots of fun content there. We actually had our biggest video this week, the week 2 game picks. We almost got to 2,500 views. So that one was definitely a hit. All right, we've got Jordan Love in the backfield. Back to throw. They do a screen pass. This is obviously just to get some yardage, and it's a good one. Oh, he got all the way to about the 32-yard line. So this is now a 4th and 2. And if you're Green Bay, you might want to consider going for this. In fact, it looks like they're just hurrying up to the line, and they're going to do this as we run under 11 minutes in the quarter. Something's going on with, yeah, he wanted to get that off faster, but the ref was in his way. Love, little bit of miscommunication. Now going into the pistol here. He has Chris Brooks in the backfield. It goes back under center. They snap this. They are going for it. Goes long. He's got him in, and it's tipped away at the last second by, I believe that's Adrian Amos. No, Trey Amos. My football knowledge is a little old there. I was thinking of the old Bears safety. Yeah, oh, that's rough. He's got Matthew Golden in the end zone, but it's underthrown. And so the Green Bay Packers, after a promising first drive, come up with no points. So we'll be seeing the Commanders soon next. You're listening to the Dustytron channel here on YouTube Live. But yeah, what I saw there, that was a pretty decent first drive there. They were able to establish the run pretty well, but you had some back-breaking penalties there. Now, the touchdown that got taken back, Jordan Love probably would have been sacked if that hold didn't happen, so you can't really fault that one, but the Josh Jacobs false start was pretty bad. They're going to have to be a bit more disciplined on the next drive. And Jordan Love, he's got to lead Matthew Golden a little bit more than that. Now, I know Matthew Golden changed his number from 22, and I believe he changed it to 0. Let's double check that. Oops, if I could spell Matthew correctly. Yep, he's number 0. So, yeah, that was Matthew Golden. He had beaten the corner, Trey Amos, but Love didn't get it there. And honestly, on a 4th and 2, I understand, like, you want to do something unexpected by taking the shot, but just get the first down and keep the drive going. Yeah, it was impressive that they got that close, but you almost wonder, oh, should they have taken the field goal there? Yeah, I don't love the long pass on 4th and short. Even after that first drive, I still have the Packers winning tonight. But yeah, we'll have to see how their defense comes out against Washington here. All right, so we're going to get our first look at Jaden Daniels tonight. in the shotgun. I believe that's Austin. Yep, that's Austin Eckler. He gets the swing pass. Austin Eckler still being productive, even though he's pretty old now. That's a 2-yard gain. But yeah, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is right on his heels, and I actually made a bold choice to start him instead of Tyreek Hill this week. I had a flex spot, and I'm concerned with how Tua performed last week. So I actually started him in the flex, but technically I moved him to running back because you don't play Thursday night football players in the flex. But yeah, we'll have to see how he does tonight. He showed some flashes against the Giants last week. All right, we got Daniels back to throw. Rolling out to the right, changes course, going back left. Lots of pressure, and oh, he's taken down by 95. Need to brush up on my Packers defenders. That's Devontae Wyatt. Gets him for the sack. So Green Bay picking up right back where they left off. They've got the Commanders on an early 3rd down. All right, 3rd and 8. We've got shotgun, 4 wide receivers and a running back. Oh, he dumps it off to Eckler. He's not going to get there. That's only going to get him 3. That was a... He didn't see what he wanted downfield, so he kind of just did the check down. But Green Bay comes up with a strong defensive stance on the first possession. And the Commanders are going to have to punt unless they pull some trickery. Micah Parsons getting some pressure there. Yeah, he's able to do a spin move. They're double teaming Micah Parsons already. They know how deadly he can be on the edge there. All right, so it does indeed look like the Commanders are lining up to punt. We're at 8:20 left in the first quarter. You are listening to the Dustytron channel, and there goes the punt. Oh, a lefty punt. And that's Matthew Golden gets taken back. Oh, that might get a little extracurricular penalty there. He kind of lifted him up by his leg and threw him down, or was that some acting by Golden? But he tried to slip the tackle, but then got pushed backwards, and yeah, the flag comes out. That looked a little odd. He's saying, what did I do? I just lifted him up by his leg and slammed him down. And that's going to hurt the Commanders because Golden was down at about the 2-yard line. But if this is a 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty, oh, looks like they pick up the flag. So the Packers will be starting within the 5-yard line. So this is going to be tough for them. They got to manage the field position right. They don't want to go 3 and out and just give a short field to Washington. But that first defensive stance, really good by the Packers. Yeah, there was a little odd extracurricular there. Who's number 35? Let's take a look. That's Percy Butler on the tackle. Kind of lifted Golden up by his leg, and I think Golden kind of flopped after he did that. It was definitely an odd look there. But yeah, looking at my power rankings that I published, I had the Packers moving up 5 after that big win over Detroit. They're my 8th ranked team right now. But this is how good this matchup is. The Commanders I have ranked at 9, and they were formerly the 8th team. As I mentioned earlier, though, I did lower them a spot for their loss against the their win against the Giants. I just felt like they could have done more with that. They looked a little lethargic, looked a little sluggish. 21 points from an explosive offense. I was expecting something a little bit more against a team that was not that great like the Giants. Now, granted, it is a division game. Division rivals play each other tougher than expected, but I just have no faith in the New York Giants at all, at least until they put Jackson Dart in, which, unfortunately, I think the guy's got some talent. But I think they're going to force him into the lineup too early. You already have Brian Dable talking about, we're not committing to Wilson as the starter for week 2. Putting Jackson Dart in against, who did they play this week? They play the Cowboys, which, I mean, the Cowboys defense isn't anything crazy, but they did pretty decent. Well, after the weather delay, they did pretty decently against Philadelphia. For those of you just tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel. We are having a live reaction stream to the Commanders at Green Bay Packers. We're knotted at 0-0 right now. Green Bay had a pretty decent drive downfield, but turned the ball over on downs in Commanders territory. But then Green Bay's defense stepped up, and the Commanders went 3 and out on their first possession. But after a great punt and good punt coverage, the Packers have it at within their own 5-yard line. It'll be interesting to see where they spot it, because Golden was driven back. Yeah, they put it at the 4-yard line. So he was driven back to the 2, but they didn't determine that he had broken a tackle. So it was forward progress at the 4. Golden moves in motion. There's 3 wide receivers and 1 running back out of the single back. It's a play action, and he gets it to Tucker Kraft, and Tucker Kraft has a first down. It looks like that goes, oh, he continues to push for a little bit more. That's I'm going to say that's like a 15-yard gain. Got Kraft out of the flat and got themselves some distance there. Yeah, when you're backed up close to the end zone, running plays where you know that can give you some separation away from the end zone and potentially flip the field with a punt, because last thing you want to do is to have to punt within your own 10-yard line and basically give the opposing team field position on your side of the field. So they've got it at the 19. I think we got a handoff here. Handoff to Josh Jacobs up the middle. 3-yard gain. Matt LaFleur loves his run game. He feeds Jacobs the rock a bunch. A good separation up the middle there, but decent coverage by the Commanders. They're calling it a 4-yard game. We've got 2nd and 6 as we wind under 7 minutes left in the first quarter. All right, on the offensive side, it's single back. 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver. There's the throw. Oh my gosh, it's Tucker Kraft! Wide open, going down the field and all the way to the Commanders' 20-yard line. Nobody was on him. This is the Tucker Kraft drive. Everything except the Josh Jacobs run has gone through him so far. That is a massive gain on 2nd down. Yeah, it's a 55-yard gain to Tucker Kraft. Yeah, I think the safety started trailing somebody and he should have moved over to Kraft and didn't. Kraft is wide open there. And the Packers definitely moving the ball a lot more efficiently than the Commanders were. Play clock running a little low here. Is Love going to get the playoff? He does. Gets it to Jacobs, and might give him 1 yard on that. So the Packers definitely look like they have the upper hand so far. All right, I think they've got Emmanuel Wilson in the backfield for this play. Yep, that is Emmanuel Wilson. Oh, it's a bootleg for Love, and he kind of just throws it away. He was trying to get Tucker Kraft, but now they're on a 3rd and 9. So it seems like once they've gotten into Washington's territory, they've been starting to slow down a little bit. I think if you're here again and you get the 4th down, I think you got to take the 3 here. Can't leave points on the board. Leave points on the field. Let's stop the clock at 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Love is in the backfield. Still Emmanuel Wilson back there. I might think he's a better pass blocker than Josh Jacobs, or they're just giving Jacobs a rest. All right, Love surveys the field. Rolling out to his right. Looks like he's just going to take off with it. Oh, he lowers his shoulder and gets the... yeah, you don't want to see your quarterback lowering his shoulder, but he does indeed get the 1st down. It's a pickup of about 14, and it's a 1st and goal for Green Bay. Yeah, nothing really. All of his wide receivers were on the left side of the field. He surveys that, didn't see anything open. He scrambles out to his right, and then at the first down marker, lowers his shoulder into Trey Amos. And it's his throwing arm too, his right shoulder. He seems unfazed right now, but those hits are going to add up. Believe me, I know with Cam Newton, his shoulders became jelly at the end of his career. Yeah, really, since the 2018 season, he could during the 2018 season, they were rolling him out there sometimes, and he could not throw the ball. So we'll see what the Packers can do here with their 1st and goal in a little bit. You are listening to the Dustytron channel here on YouTube Live. And for those of you just tuning in, we publish great content all the time. We've got game picks, we've got power rankings, we've got reactions. We are going to be posting stuff all through the regular season. We are posting weekly videos throughout the offseason, division previews and predictions. We have a lot of fun on this channel, getting it up and going. This is technically year 2. I started a little bit last year, but this last offseason was the first season where I started regular uploads. We did a couple of live reaction streams last year. We streamed reactions to the Lions-Packers game in Detroit. That was a really good one last year. But yeah, we start the season out this year with Commanders-Packers, and right now it's really looking like the Packers have the upper hand over the Commanders. The defense is playing better, and their offense is playing better too. So I think you might be seeing a little bit here that the Commanders, while they only allowed 6 points last week, it was because they were playing the lowly New York Giants. Let's take a quick look at some of the stats of the game so far. Jane Daniels, he is 100% completion percentage, 2 of 2 for 7 yards. Now let's look at those Packers stats. Jordan Love, 6 of 9, 113 yards passing already. Josh Jacobs, only 13 yards, but he's gotten the ball 5 times. And they're in the red zone now. They're goal to go, so expect Josh Jacobs to get some touches here. Tucker Kraft, 2 catches for 72 yards. That 55-yarder was the big one. Dontavian Wicks, second with 2 receptions, 19 yards. Romeo Dobbs had 2 catches for 11 yards. Brooks, who is Brooks? Chris Brooks. I hadn't heard of him. I heard of Emmanuel Wilson. Oh, they're lining up at the 5-yard line here. Goal to go. Love under center, fakes the handoffs to Jacobs, gets Dobbs for the touchdown! And the Packers are the first to score. Packers up 6-0. Yeah, Dobbs just beats the corner here. Love puts it right where it needs to be. Yeah, who is he going against? I think that's number 0. And the extra point is good. And it looks like, yeah, Mike Sandrazil. Yeah, he just beat him off the line. That was an easy pitch and catch. The linebacker came down to defend the run. And there you have it. First points of the game, 7-0 Packers. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel here on YouTube Live. Yeah, Packers, they started that drive at their own 4. A 96-yard drive downfield. And I mean, really, like, if Jordan Love had just gotten a little bit more on that ball to Matthew Golden, this could be 14-0 right now. So the Commanders, they've really got to get something going on this drive. The momentum is all in the Packers' favor. Both of their drives went into Washington territory, and the first one very easily could have been a touchdown. They just went a little too aggressive on fourth down, in my opinion. So yeah, the Commanders, they're on the road. They got to take some of this momentum back. All right, there's the dynamic touchback, as I call it, goes into the end zone. And Gene Daniels comes out for number 2, the drive number 2. Not number 2, that would be unfortunate. Only Lamar Jackson does that. All right. So it's 1st and 10, 4 minutes and 33 seconds left in the first quarter. Jaden Daniels working out of the pistol. What does Cliff Kingsbury have cooked up here? It's a handoff to Austin Eckler, who's taken down in the backfield. Not going to get it going like that. That's Lucas Van Ness who gets him right in the backfield. It looks like it's about a loss of 1 or 2 yards. Just, yeah, he beats, that might be Laramie Tunsil. Yeah, he beats Laramie Tunsil on the inside and just gets straight to Austin Eckler. The Washington Commanders have to do a better job protecting than that. Deebo Samuel in motion. There's the snap. It's a handoff to Eckler, and it gets a little bit more this time. Looks like about a 4-yard gain. So the Commanders already at 3rd down. They got to 3rd down very quickly. Last possession, too. This is super important for them to get this 3rd down. They can't go 3 and out again. They've got to sustain some drive. All right, Jaden Daniels has 5 wide receivers, no running backs in the backfield. Takes the snap, back to throw. Throws, and that's Eckler again. All he's doing is checkdowns. Eckler tries really hard to get to the 1st down, but he is 1 yard short. They got to push something downfield. Oh, we do have a flag. Let's see what the call is. LaFleur indicating it is on the Commanders, and indeed it is. It is holding on Washington. They're going to have him replay the down. Yeah, and I don't think that's the wrong call here. They might have gone for it on 4th and 1. So push him back 10 yards, make him try again. You've been doing a great, yeah, it looks like Rashawn Gary gets held there. But yeah, Micah Parsons gets in on Jaden Daniels and hits him. Oh, it's actually, yeah, it's illegal hands to the face on Micah Parsons there. Or Micah Parsons got it called. Again, the Commanders did illegal hands to the face to Micah Parsons. All right, here it is, Jaden Daniels. They do just a quick check down. That had no chance of succeeding. I think they were hoping for maybe the Packers to overcommit and get a big play there. But they sniffed that right out, and it is another 3 and out. The Commanders, they gotta pick up the pace here. This isn't a good start for them. People are gonna be saying it's like, oh, you're playing one of the better teams in the NFC now, and there's a lot of momentum about that with this Packers team right now, coming off the big defeat of Detroit last week. Commanders gonna punt again on a 4th and 15. And it's fielded at the 20-yard line. That's Emmanuel Wilson. Gets it to about the 24. So 2 minutes left in the first quarter. You're listening to the Dustytron channel here on YouTube Live. My live reactions to Commanders versus Packers. But yeah, already starting to think about my Week 3 picks here. Just as a note, I will be trying to do every Thursday game streaming it, but next week I will be skipping, so I will see you all again here for Week 4. That is the Seahawks at the Cardinals, and I believe the Cardinals are wearing their rivalry uniforms for that, which I thought the Cardinals rivalry uniform was decent. Oh, now that we have a commercial break, I will show the Packers image, their helmet that I wanted them to do. Here it is right here. This would have been awesome. And you could have done an interesting, maybe you finally roll out that all yellow uniform that's only ever been in Madden, the yellow uniform with the green numbers, and then you put this as the helmet. Or you just pair it with your green uniform. I really think this would have been better than that awful white helmet. I don't, unless it's already your primary helmet, I don't understand white helmets. Like, I understand that most logos work on a black background and a white background. But come on, we're doing alternates here, and you're allowed 3 shells. Do something a bit more creative. I was really hyped about the 3 shell rule and what teams could do with it, but teams are just being really boring with it, and that disappoints me. But I'm really hopeful that Carolina, if they actually ever go that route, Carolina, I'm fine with them having a black helmet because it's already part of their color scheme and they could do something really cool with that. But I want them really bad to do a blue helmet as their other alternate. I've heard some rumors that they might do a white helmet, and I'm just like, why? You're basically doing that already with your silver helmet. Silver, from a color contrast perspective, is not much different than white. So let's do something a little bit more interesting. All right, Green Bay has the ball back on their own 24-yard line, up 7-0. And it's a jet sweep to Matthew Golden. He's going to get about 5. Taken down by Jones. That's Jonathan Jones. 10-year pro out of Auburn. Oops. Something here. No, there we go. We're still good. Yeah, the Packers, if they go right down the field again, Love out of the backfield. Oh, he's going to get sacked. The pressure finally gets to him. Von Miller got there, as did... let's see. I apologize. I don't know all of my Washington Commanders. That's Jacob Martin. So Jacob Martin and Von Miller get a half sack each. And so the Packers will be facing a 3rd down in their own territory. I think that's the first time all game. Yeah, this would be big for the Commanders to get the Packers off the field because they have not been able to the first 2 possessions here. Running under 40 seconds left. If this is not an incomplete pass, it'll probably be the last play of the corner. Love throws short. That's Chris Brooks. He's not going to get there. He gets to about the 30-yard line, which looks to be about 4 yards short. Sandrazil, who gave up the touchdown pass, makes the tackle. And it's 4th and 4, and yeah, they can let the quarter run out here. I assume that's what they'll do. But the offense, they'll probably try to draw them off sides here. No harm in that. I would be shocked if they went for it this far back in their own territory. Yeah, expect them, just to do a hard count here. Yep, and the quarter runs out. So at the end of the first quarter, we've got 7-0 Packers over to the Commanders. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Got to adjust that quarter a little bit. A little bit more center now. Yeah, so while it's only 7-0 Green Bay, you really feel like the Packers have owned this game a lot more than the Commanders have. Let's take a look at the team stats. If I can find that, you would think that NFL.com would have better stats than they do. Looks like they only have player stats. But yeah, looking forward to week 3. Well, let's discuss the games in week 2 a little bit that are upcoming. So yeah, we've got the Browns at the Ravens. I had the Ravens picked in this one. The Browns, while they put up a decent fight against the Bengals, they played a lot better than I thought they were going to against Cincinnati, but it is September Bengals. They found a way to lose that one. And while the Ravens did choke last week, this was a little controversial on my video. I still kept them at number 1. I actually moved them from the second team to the first because they kind of just melted at the end of the game. But outside of that, they controlled that game. They were the better team, and I think they have the better talent. So at least for this week, I'm keeping them atop the power rankings. We'll have to see. I mean, if they lose to the Browns and then the Bills win, then yeah, the Bills will definitely go to number 1. But for now, I've got Baltimore at number 1. The game after that, we've got the Jaguars at the Bengals. And this one I have an upset because the Bengals just barely got away from the Browns. I'm not overhyping Jacksonville because I know they beat Carolina, and that's not a tall order to do. Packers, they do punt here. And it's a good punt. Goes all the way back to the Commanders' 15, but it is fielded. And it looks like it's returned for about 15 yards. The Commanders got it to the 30. And that's Lane. Jalen Lane returning the kick. But yeah, if you're the Commanders, you go down the field and you tie this game up, you're right in it. There is a flag down. We'll have to see what happens here. It's a personal foul face mask on Washington. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a face mask on 55. Or sorry, 59. When you feel yourself like holding that, you would think you would just let go of it. But he just kept holding it. Maybe hoping that I guess if it's preventing the punt from getting blocked, it's better to do that. But yeah, they take the penalty. That'll probably erase the 15 yards they got on the return. So I bet the Commanders are starting at the 15-yard line. Let's see here. Oh, sorry, it's the other way around. It was on the Packers, so they gained 15 yards. They're at the 45. My bad. It's a screen pass to Deebo Samuel, and the Packers all over it. Packers still have not given up a first down today. Their defense is looking great. I'm kind of curious. Let's take a look and see if I can get where the teams are right now, because the Packers might be the top team in the league right now for that. Or may have Broncos, so 6 overall. That's still pretty good. Top 10. Jane Daniels back to throw again, just a screen pass. This is to Deebo Samuel. He's able to get like 6 on it. The Commanders have got to push something downfield here. They just keep doing these little dink and dunks, and the Packers, they're giving it to them and coming up and making good tackles. So we've got a 3rd and 3. This is the most manageable 3rd down the Commanders have had all game. We've got Jaden Daniels in the shotgun with Austin Eckler to his right. Haven't seen anything from Terry McLaurin yet. Packers linebackers up at the line showing blitz. One pulls back, and then the other guy pulls back after the ball snap. Oh, it looks like they did indeed get the first down. A low pass to the ground, and there he is, Terry McLaurin. I just mentioned that we hadn't really seen him, but there he is with a clutch first catch to keep the drive alive as we tick under 13 and a half minutes in the second quarter. All right, Jaden Daniels, they get back up to the line out of the shotgun. Oh, Micah Parsons chasing him, and he's going to just dive forward for 2. Was able to escape Parsons, but yeah, Parsons making a big difference here, getting into the backfield. He only has, I don't think he even think he got that. Yeah, I was thinking of Von Miller earlier. Von Miller had half a sack, but yeah. Josh Connerly Jr. on the right side there. He keeps getting beat by the Packers edge rushers. All right, we've got 2nd and 9. We might have Krosky Merritt back in the backfield. Yep, there he is. It's a play action to him. Throws and, oh. The pass, I don't know if Krosky Merritt wasn't expecting that, but the pass was behind him. And it's incomplete. They tried another check down. So really, the only pass that hasn't been like a screen or a check down for the Commanders so far has been that about 5-yard pass to Terry McLaurin that got him the first down. It just doesn't seem like they're really able to get much creativity going here. 3rd and 9. This is a big play for them. Got to keep this drive going. They are in Green Bay territory. Daniels surveys the field, throws. Oh, he's got a man, and oh, it's dropped. That used to be Noah Brown. I don't think it's Noah Brown anymore. Let's take a look. Oh, that is Noah Brown. Noah Brown had the ball and dropped it. It would have been a first down, but yeah, the Commanders are going to have to punt or that little bit of handsiness there on both sides. Oh, but it's a good play by Nixon. 2 hands on it for Noah Brown, but he's able to punch it out before he can put it into his chest. And there's the punt. Oh, it bounces forward. That's a favorable Washington bounce. And it comes out to it looks like they're going to mark it at the 7. So tough starting field position for the Packers, but that didn't stop them 2 drives ago when they started at their own 4-yard line. They were able to go 96 yards down the field, helped out by a 55-yard reception by Tucker Kraft. 7-0 Packers over the Commanders here. 12:24 left to play in the second. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. For everyone who's tuned in so far, thanks. Got 2 likes on the stream, 54 views. 4 of you are viewing live. But yeah, taking a look at the defensive ratings, actually the Commanders, they're 5th in total defense, so they are 1 spot better than the Packers. But I think that's because they were playing the Giants. Let's be real there. In terms of passing defense, Commanders 10th, Packers 18th, so that's not that great, but they're playing great against the Commanders' pass offense tonight. And rushing defense, yeah, the Packers, they're tied for 1st with the Browns. They allowed only 2 yards per carry last week. Yeah, just kind of looking at the offensive rankings. The Commanders' total offense, they put up 432 yards last week against the Giants, but only 21 points to show for it. Packers, no, they're all the way down at 22 there, but they might not have, they were, yeah, I don't know. They had a good first half, and their defense was kind of able to do the rest. All right, we've got the passing offense here. Commanders 12th. Packers are 18th. And then the rushing offense, Commanders were second. So, yeah, they ran all over the Giants. And the Packers are 21st. So, yeah, Packers didn't do much running last week. And to be honest, they haven't really done too much tonight so far either. They've given Josh Jacobs the ball. Well, let's refresh that to make sure that's still accurate. But I think it is. I think they've only given him the ball 5 times tonight. Oh, 6 times. Oh, Jordan Love snaps the ball. Going long for Matthew Golden and just out of reach. So the first time he goes for Golden outside of that screen, or that was actually a jet sweep. Never mind. The first time he underthrows it, the second time he overthrows it. We'll see if they can start connecting. I feel like Matthew Golden is a burner, and I was kind of feeling this way with like Troy Franklin on the Broncos. Bo Nix always kept overthrowing him or underthrowing him. If they can just get that connection, it could be dangerous. But yeah, we've got a 2nd and 10 for the Packers. Jordan Love out of the shotgun here. He's got 3 wide receivers and Josh Jacobs in the backfield. Josh Jacobs gets the ball, and there's some room to run. He's able to pick up 8, so that makes this a much more manageable 3rd and 2. Oh, 3rd and 1 they give him. All right, there it is. They hand it to Jacobs, and Jacobs is able to get the first down. There you go. All right, that's a first down for the Packers at about the 20-yard line. Yeah, and I think Matt LaFleur would like to run a little bit of ball control here. Get the Commanders to start moving up, their defense to start moving closer to the line of scrimmage, and then you've seen he's dialed up the long shots. Get them to start being concerned about the run, come up to the line of scrimmage, throw it over the top. Love in the backfield of 2 running backs. It's play action to Jacobs, and he throws it long again. That is caught if he's able to keep his feet in bounds. Looks like it's incomplete. Might want to take a second look at it, but it did look like he was pretty close to the... So, I think he might have caught that. That's Malik Heath. Did he take it to the ground, though? Looks like a catch to me. Let's see if he goes to the ground with it. Yeah, I think he's good. Packers probably want to challenge that. Yeah, and there it is. Matt LaFleur throws the challenge flag. Yeah, it was definitely close, but Heath getting those feet down in bounds, unlike my receiver, Xavier Legette, who twice had terrible feeling of where the sideline was and just stepped out of bounds. There was one where he had like 3 steps he could have made, and he landed on the out of bounds line, and it was a drive killing mistake, because a little bit after that, I believe Bryce Young scrambled and fumbled because he dove forward instead of slid. Bryce Young has to realize that he is not a running quarterback. He can do a little bit of scrambling around, but get down. You are not going to survive NFL hits. Sorry, I am a Panthers fan, so I will be interjecting Panthers stuff throughout here and my frustrations with the team because week 1 was terrible. All right, we've got 1st and 10 at the 43 of the Commanders. It's a run by Josh Jacobs. Looks like he gets about 3, I would say. We're under 10.5 to play in the second quarter. 7-0 Green Bay, but they have been in control of this game, and they are on Washington's side of the field now, looking to get more points. Yeah, total yards, 203 to 23. And that just makes me feel like Washington's got to be fortunate to feel fortunate that they're only down 7-0. But there's a pass to Romeo Doubs. He gets to the first down and all the way to the Commanders' 25-yard line. Romeo Doubs getting involved in the offense here. Yeah, and I really feel like this Washington secondary struggling here. Marshawn Lattimore makes the tackle, but he's kind of a shell of his former self. Just not really making the plays he used to. Yeah, there was nobody near Romeo Doubs on that play. All right. It's the 23-yard line, actually. And it's a handoff to Jacobs, and there was, Kinlaw. No, I was thinking Dre Greenlaw. He's on the Broncos. Javon Kinlaw, yep, makes the stop. Looks like it was about a loss of 1. So yeah, Josh Jacobs continuing to get the ball. It is indeed a loss of 1. Yeah, the Commanders, the Packers are definitely in field goal range here. They got to keep it to that or force them out. They don't want to give up the touchdown here. It's a pass in the flat to Tucker Kraft, and he breaks a tackle, and that's goal to go. The Packers are just playing with much more intensity than the Commanders are so far. Harris misses the tackle, and Tucker Kraft just trucks him with a stiff arm there. That's Will Harris just gets pushed out of the way. Wasn't a true stiff arm. He kind of just gets pushed out of the way by Tucker Kraft as he tried to make the tackle. That's just one man being stronger than the other man. 1st and goal from the Commanders' 7-yard line. It's a handoff to Josh Jacobs. He's getting close. He's down to the 2. 5-yard gain, 2nd and goal. We've got 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the second quarter. Are the Packers going to put another touchdown on the board? Let's see what Matt LaFleur dials up here. Under center, they get back quick. It's another handoff to Jacobs, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. And he continues his streak of games with touchdowns. It's up to 10 now. 13-0 Green Bay. If any of you remember that old Fox Sports touchdown sound effect, it went like choot choot. I always feel that way when anyone gets a touchdown. That sound always pops in my head. All right, I believe that. Oh, who is their kicker now? He's on to attempt the point after, and it's straight through the upright. So the Packers, it seems like they're only able to get touchdowns when they start within their own 10-yard line, but they go 93 yards and they tack on another score. It is 14-0 Green Bay, and this game is in danger of running away from the Commanders. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel, here on YouTube Live. And for all those who are watching and liking, thank you a bunch. Yeah, the 92-yard drive and the 96-yard drive, it's crazy. They start within their own 10-yard line and they get the touchdown. So, what do the Commanders have to do to get back into this game? They do receive, there's about, I think, like, let's take a look at NFL.com. There's 7.5 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. It's 14-0. Packers over the Commanders. All they have to do, they just got to get something going on offense. But they do receive, so if they got a touchdown here, hold the Packers, make sure that they don't start within their own 10-yard line, because that seems to be the only way the Packers are scoring. They can get back in this game. 2 touchdown drives, they're right back in it. But the Commanders, they've looked pretty lethargic so far. But now going back to our analysis here of the games coming up here, our predictions. So I had the Jaguars beating the Bengals. I feel like that's more of a trap game for Cincinnati rather than a glowing review of the Jacksonville Jaguars after their Week 1 performance. They looked good, but I felt with like how bad the Panthers performed, they should have done better. Trevor Lawrence didn't really surprise me, especially on that, impressed me, especially on that pass that got intercepted by J.C. Horn. He had Travis Hunter for a touchdown. He's just got to get more on that ball, and he underthrows it. J.C. Horn makes a great play on it. But if he just puts that out in front of Travis Hunter, Hunter's gone. So the Jaguars really should have beaten the Panthers by more. And it sounds a little ridiculous that I'm like, I'm not that high on this team because they should have beaten my team by more. Opening day, 26-10, still pretty good, but I feel like the Bengals are going to pull their typical September stuff, and it's going to lead to them getting upset by Jacksonville this upcoming weekend. Cowboys, Giants, you might see Jackson Dart in this one. Dable might be scrambling to save his job, especially. I was hearing some analysis about this. It looks extra bad on Brian Dable and Joe Steichen because they invested in Danny Dimes because they probably saw the potential, but they couldn't get the potential out of him. And if he starts playing well on the Colts, then that's an indictment of them. So they're like panicking right now, I would say. Because if Danny Dimes thrives in a different system, they're gone. Like, the Giants owners, they're going to be like, hey, we need someone different to get the most out of our new franchise quarterback, Jackson Dart. It's not going to be Brian Dable anymore. It'll be interesting to see what Brian Dable does if he does indeed get fired by the Giants, which I think he's going to be one of those mid-season firings. It's just, he's not going to stick around. He shouldn't have stuck around this last offseason. I'm not really sure why the Giants front office stuck with him. They must just be convinced of, hey, we got that 9-7-1 season out of him that one year and got a playoff win. He must know something of what he's doing, but this Giants team just hasn't really lived up to their potential. And they have made some moves which have definitely reduced their ability to win, but they're starting to put some young talent together. Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy, you've got Jackson Dart coming in. They've got some pieces in place, and they need the coach that's going to put that all together, and it might just not be Brian Dable. But long story short, the Cowboys, I think they're going to be one of those teams where their defense is awful, but their offense is going to be able to put up points. And I mean, frankly, if CeeDee Lamb catches those passes against the Eagles, they win that game. Like everyone's saying, oh, the Eagles are so great. Granted, it's a division game, and division rivals play each other tight, but they almost lost to the Cowboys, who are really not considered a playoff team this year. So I kind of expected to see more from Philadelphia, and I actually lowered them 2 in my power rankings because of that. But yeah, we've got almost 100 views on this stream. Rolling right along here. We are halfway through the second quarter. 14-0 Packers over the Commanders. Oh, it's Brandon McManus, I think, is their kicker. Yep, Brandon McManus is their kicker, so he's the guy who kicked the extra point. And about to do a dynamic touchback here. There's the kick. Although I think they moved the touchback further out to encourage returns this year, so they're not kicking into the end zone quite as much. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it comes out to the 35-yard line. That return was to the 30. All right, so with 7.5 minutes left in the second quarter, we'll have to see what is done on this drive. And I find the choice of the Packers white helmets odd on this one because it's their winter whiteout look. It's September. What are you doing? Save it for December, November. All right, Jaden Daniels in the backfield in shotgun. Hands it off to Krosky Merritt, and that's good. Looking like it's a 5-yard gain. He doesn't go down. They just stop his forward progress. Yeah, he had one target earlier, but it was either he ran the wrong route or Daniels was off target with it. And they play action to Krosky Merritt now. Daniels rolling out. Lots of pressure there. Oh, McLaurin bobbled it, but was able to corral it. That had a dangerous look on it. That could have been picked, but McLaurin able to handle his bobble and kept it in and was able to make the catch. So they are at their own 45-yard line. Micah Parsons has been getting a lot of penetration into the backfield. We do have an injured commander, Coleman. That's Brandon Coleman, the offensive tackle. Yeah, Packers fans, I think you got to be excited this year. They played really well against the division rival Lions, and the Lions was like your main, like they were the team to beat in the NFC North last year. You took them down with relative ease, and now you come out against another playoff contender, and you're up 14-0. The defense is looking fantastic so far. Yeah, the Commanders just haven't really been able to get much yardage today. If you look at their rushing stats, yeah, they have 9 rushing yards. Oh, that's where the team numbers are. It's at the bottom. It's and only 54 for the Packers, so it's not like that's fantastic, but 9 by the Commanders, that's pretty bad. They just haven't really been able to move the ball. All right, we've got Daniels out of the shotgun from their own 45. Throws and almost intercepted. And that's Valentine. Carrington Valentine almost gets that, but not quite. Yeah, and Parsons just continually getting there, really challenging these offensive tackles for the Commanders. Looks like Tunsil might have gotten away with a hold there. Definitely had his hands on in the shoulder pads, under the shoulder pads. All right, Daniels in the backfield. He has 3 wide receivers. Throws, that is complete to Noah Brown. Noah Brown actually holds on to it this time. It's going to be a 3rd and 1 upcoming here. At the 42-yard line of Green Bay, so Washington officially gets into Green Bay territory here. As we wind under 6 minutes left in the half. 14-0, the Commanders have got to get something here. 3rd and 1. It's a handoff to Krosky Merritt, and he goes to the right side and gets about 3, so that's good enough for the first down. Yeah, they were starting the game with Austin Eckler, but you see that they've worked in Krosky Merritt a lot more these last 2 drives. Almost wondering if they were kind of just like warming up a little bit. And yeah, there's a lot of buzz in Washington about Krosky Merritt becoming the lead back. And I mean, when Austin Eckler's your only other option, I'm not really surprised. The play breaks down a little bit, and Jaden Daniels takes it himself. Looks like he gets about 5 on the scramble. He was surveying the field, didn't see anything. Pocket was collapsing, and so he escapes and gains a few. It's officially a 5-yard gain. 14-0 Green Bay over the Commanders as we go under 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Ball at the 33-yard line. About the 33-yard line of the Packers. Play clock is starting to wind down. Daniels is in the backfield, or in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Pressure coming. Oh, and a good play by the corner there, Nixon. Bats the ball away. So we've got 3rd and 5 upcoming. That's Keyshawn probably. Keyshawn Nixon. Was able to get in front of that pass intended for Noah Brown. Linebackers for the Packers playing about the middle of the field, not coming up to the line of scrimmage. Daniels is in the shotgun. Austin Eckler is in at running back for this play. Daniels is going long. Doesn't really have his guy. He was going for McLaurin. Little too far, but McLaurin didn't really have that much separation. So now 4th and 5. If you're the Commanders, you are kind of in 4-down territory here. But I think you got to take the points, and it looks like that's what they're doing. They're bringing the field goal unit out. Yeah, Daniels is trying to give McLaurin a shot here, but on these shorter plays, when you got to get the first down, I kind of don't like the long shots, especially when it's just kind of a jump ball. There's the kick, and it's looking good. It is good. So Washington will not be shut out today. They get a field goal on the board. And it is 14-3, Packers over the Commanders. With 4 minutes and 27 seconds left to play. So if you're the Commanders, make sure that this drive does not start within the Packers' 10-yard line. And it seems to be the only time they get touchdowns. You are listening to my live reactions to the Commanders and Packers game here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Alright, taking a look at some stuff over here. Alright, the Commanders are getting ready to kick it off. There's the kick. It will be returned. And it is past the 10-yard line. That is Emmanuel Wilson getting it to about the 27. The next game we have on this prediction slate, it's the Bears at the Lions. And the Bears, they were interesting. They started out pretty well against the Vikings. Vikings looked awful, but then I don't know if it was the Bears choking or the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy finally just flipped the switch. But the Vikings were able to come back and win that one. There was a lot of talk in Detroit about this game being a must-win for the Lions because they can't go down 0-2, especially with both of those games being divisional losses. All right, we got Love in the backfield. He hands it off to Williams, so it's a handoff to the wide receiver. He gets the first down and more. It's about a 14-yard gain. That is Savion Williams. I believe they drafted him just this year. Yes, he's a rookie out of TCU. Yeah, he's been on the field for a couple of plays, takes a handoff out of the backfield here, and is able to follow his blocks well and gets a 14-yard gain. So just like that, Packers moving the ball down the field again. Love in the single back under center. Believe it's Josh Jacobs in the backfield. Jacobs gets the rock, gets the first down. Oh, he must have stepped out of bounds. That was a 2nd and 2. I missed that he stepped out of bounds. There is a flag, and it looks indicative of holding on the offense. It is indeed holding on the offense, so that's coming back. This is going to be a 2nd and 12. The hold is on the tight end, John Fitzpatrick. I don't know if I agree with that call. The Commanders guy had his hand underneath his shoulder pad, and when the tight end ended up kind of pushing that guy over, kind of tackling him, Josh Jacobs was already past him. I don't know if I agree with that one. That's Dontavian Wicks in motion. Love throws. It's caught by Chris Brooks, and that's not going to get anything. No gain. So this is a big 3rd down for both the Packers and the Commanders as we run under 3 minutes left in the half. Bobby Wagner in to help on that tackle. Commanders have to get the Packers off the field here. It would be huge if they could hold them here, get some more points before the half, make it a 1-possession game, even just get that field goal. Make it a 1-possession game. The Packers have completely owned this first half. Take some of the momentum back going into halftime. And yeah, start the second half and make it your half. Because this has not been the first half for the Commanders. Love wanted to go long, but pulls it down. He's directing. He does go long. Who's he going for? Dubs tried to get it. It's incomplete. Covered by Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore plays that well. I felt like that was one of those Jordan Love passes he throws up there, and you're like, oh, what's going to happen on the other side of that? But it does fall helplessly incomplete. Harmlessly incomplete. And so the Packers are going to punt on a 4th and 11. The Commanders will get the ball back. All right, there's the kick. It's going all the way to the Commanders' 20. It is fielded. Oh, and there's some separation there. He gets about, I want to say, 23 on the return. So they're going to start this from about their own 43-yard line. Not too far to go in order to get into field goal range. That is great for the Commanders. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Trying to do my radio voice a little bit there. The Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. All right, we resume here. 2:02 left. This will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Jaden Daniels in the shotgun. Looks like he has Austin Eckler back. He's got 4 wide receivers. Actually, one is Zach Ertz. So it's 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Daniels scrambles past the line of scrimmage. He's going to have to run it. Gets about 8. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. 1:55 left in the second quarter. It is 14-3. Green Bay over Washington. This first half has really been all Packers, but the Commanders trying to take some of the momentum back before the end of the first half and bring it into the second half because they received. You are listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. All right, looking back a little bit on My predictions for next week. Yeah, so I do have the Lions beating the Bears next week. I'm not convinced about these Ben Johnson Bears. They had the one good drive and then they were pretty flat. The defense got another touchdown for them. So I've heard a lot about Ben Johnson is very scripted. He likes the structure in his offense, and a lot of Caleb Williams and his appeal is that how he works off script. Now, you saw on the first drive, Caleb Williams goes 10 for 10, pretty on script there, but as soon as they kind of had to deviate from that, you saw him not be quite as good. So it'll be interesting to see how Caleb Williams works with Ben Johnson. We were expecting to kind of see fireworks. I didn't see it in their first game. Now, first game, they're going to take some time. They got to meld and whatnot. So you can't write it off quite yet, but I was expecting something a little more, and I was especially expecting them not to choke to the Vikings, especially with how poorly J.J. McCarthy started that game. All right, but the next we've got the Patriots and the Dolphins, and this one's definitely a toss-up because it's like both teams underperform. But which one underperformed more? And I think you got to say the Dolphins did in week 1. They got a garbage time touchdown at the end. They would have gotten shut out if they didn't get that. Tua looked terrible. The whole team looked terrible. And the Colts looked like a legit playoff contender if they can continue playing like that through the season. The Patriots, there was a lot of offseason hype for them, but really it was only because they brought Mike Vrabel in. And don't get me wrong, I really like Mike Vrabel as a coach. But if you watch my offseason rankings, you'll see I wasn't really buying into the hype around the team. I think it's too early. They got to build a little bit this year, and maybe next year they'll be able to take that leap. And they did against the Raiders, they most certainly didn't look like they were ready to take that leap. They were very stagnant on offense. They need to get Travion Henderson the ball more, that's for sure. We got a 2nd and 2, minute 55 left in the second. It's a handoff to Austin Eckler, and he's going to get that first down. About a yard past it, 1st and 10. The clock continues to run, and Washington has to be careful with the clock management here. They want to go fast enough that they're going to be able to get that touchdown and get into the position that they want, but they don't want to leave enough time on the clock that Green Bay starts taking their timeouts and trying to get some points of their own. It's another handoff to Eckler. They're going to try to keep that clock running. That gets about 4. They are running no huddle, though. Jaden Daniels hurrying them up to the line as we tick under a minute 20 left in the second quarter. Keeping that same Packers defense out there. Shotgun formation for Jaden Daniels. Oh, and that's a false start on Laramie Tunsil. Now, Laramie Tunsil having a little bit of a rough day today. Had a holding call and now has this false start. But maybe it wasn't a holding call. He just really got beat on one of the rushes by Micah Parsons. And it's definitely a false start. Yeah, we've been seeing Micah Parsons rushing on both the right side of the Commanders' line of scrimmage and left side. They're moving him around. It's not going to just be one Commanders guy that's blocking him, but he is getting a lot of attention. But even with that, he's still getting by. Little bit of a stoppage in play here. We've got 2nd and 10 for the Commanders at the Packers 46. Oh, it's a screen pass, and Micah Parsons able to come up and make the stop. The ball looks like it might have gone on the ground. It was to Deebo Samuel, but even if it did, it looks like the Commanders got it back. We're under 40 seconds here. The Commanders with no real sense of urgency here. It's 3rd and 4. Probably if they get this first down, they'll start taking their timeouts, but they are using a lot of time. We're under 30 seconds. McLaurin moves in motion to the right side of the line of scrimmage. Oh, Micah Parsons might have gone off sides there. Might have also gotten held. Daniels throws, and it's almost intercepted. So it's 4th and 4. He was going for Austin Eckler. Xavier McKinney with the play there. Xavier McKinney had the ridiculous, I believe, 8 interceptions last year. I don't think he has any this year so far. Now, Laramie Tunsil, I think he gets away with a little bit of a hold there. Micah Parsons also gets away with a little bit of a late hit on Jaden Daniels. Don't get me wrong, I hate all of the ticky-tackiness with roughing the passer call, but he was definitely hit after he threw there. It's a 58-yard field goal attempt here. This is not a gimme. The kick is up, and it's hooking. It's no good. So the Commanders fail to get points, and that might be close enough for the Packers, who have all 3 timeouts, to maybe get down the field. Yeah, he kicks this at about midfield, so if the Packers can get 1 or 2 completions, they can probably kick a field goal of their own. So that's a big miss by Washington there. But, I mean, really, it's a 58-yarder. You can't really, like, believe that's going to be a guaranteed hit. That's Matt Gay who misses it. So he's 1 for 2 on the day. I believe his first one was from about 40. Oh, sorry, it was a 51-yard field goal. All right, the Packers are starting this drive at their own 48-yard line. Love throws. He's got a man. Oh, and it got out of bounds, but did he get pushed backwards? I think they just took the timeout. Either that or they ruled that he just got out of bounds. Yeah, there's that whole thing where if you're trying to go forward, but then you actually go backwards and go out of bounds, it doesn't actually stop the clock. You have to be going forwards out of bounds. But since he was kind of coming out of his route, maybe because they do rule him out of bounds. I had actually never really known that until last year. It's a handoff to Josh Jacobs to get them a little bit closer. He gets them all the way to the 31-yard line. They call time with 4 seconds left. So, yeah, there you have it. 2 plays. The Packers execute it perfectly, and Brandon McManus is going to have a chance to put 3 more on the scoreboard at the end of this half. This is not how Washington wanted this to play out. They wanted to swing the momentum in their favor, and instead they're giving the Green Bay Packers an opportunity to put even more points on before the half. Get that lead back up to 14. All right, we've got McManus. This is only a 48-yard attempt, well within his range. The kick is up. Oh, it's hooking. It's hooking. It hits the upright. It is no good. So the Commanders luck out there at the end of the half. Their missed field goal does not come back to hurt them. And it remains 14-3 at halftime. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. It is halftime right now. I don't want to have to change the font on this, but it's probably going to make me to fit into the box. There we go. That looks a little bit better there. It is halftime. It is 14-3 Packers. It really has been all Packers here. I haven't really seen too much. Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like the Commanders, they were going down the field and they were doing a decent job not leaving a lot of time on the clock for the Packers. But then they kind of messed it up at the end, and the Packers had just enough time because of the long field goal miss. But yeah, we are at the Dustytron halftime, and we're going to talk a little bit about what transpired last week. So last week, we started with that Thursday night football game, Spitgate, and the weather delay. A lot was going on in that one. It was back and forth between the Eagles and the Cowboys until that weather delay hit, and then there were no points for the rest of the game. The Brazil game between the Chargers. What a statement win by the Chargers against the Chiefs. The Chargers, they always struggle to get that big win against the Chiefs. They start out the season with it this year. And I know a lot of people in my power rankings were talking about, like, oh, come on, the Broncos are better than the Chargers. I don't know. I think the Broncos are still a fairly young team, and the Chargers are just more solid, except when they come into the playoffs. I feel like last year, they were just a very well-rounded team, but then, of course, they chargered in the playoffs. Jim Harbaugh hasn't really fixed that yet. But they came out and they executed very well against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they get a statement win in the first week. And if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to be a little bit worried. They play the Eagles this week, and they could start the season 0-2 very realistically. So their AFC Championship defense starting to look like they might be trending downwards a little bit after however many years it's been. I think, yeah, they were really starting. The first Mahomes year was in 2018. So, yeah, it's almost been 7 years of this. 7 years of Chiefs dominance. All right, we had a great back and forth game between the Bucs and the Falcons. Bucs pulled it out in the end. Both Bucs-Falcons games were very exciting last year, especially the one that went into overtime with the walk-off touchdown from Kirk Cousins. But yeah, the Bucs were able to pull this one off. We saw 2 touchdowns to the rookie Emeka Mbuka, who's filling in for Chris Godwin. I think it'll be really interesting to see if he plays really well. What's going to be Godwin's role when he comes back, or better yet, what's going to be Mbuka's role when he comes back? He goes down to wide receiver 3, but he's playing this well. I don't know. I think you have a really terrifying trio of receivers there in Tampa Bay. Once Godwin comes back. The Falcons, they put up a decent fight. Michael Penix looked decent. Yeah, he definitely had that scrambling touchdown where he stretched out far and was able to get it in. That was an impressive run. Bijan, it was interesting. He put up a big stat line, but most of it was through the receiving game. He didn't have very many rushing yards in that one. So the Falcons, if they're going forward, they're really going to have to work on that rushing attack. All right, going forward here, this one, you see September Bengals again. Bengals at Browns, they just barely get past the Browns, who they just threw away this game. This game was the Browns for the taking. The Browns, they missed 2 field goals there and an extra point. They should have won this. They limited the Bengals' high-powered offense to 7 total yards in the second half. That is absolutely ridiculous. All right, so, but the Browns, I mean, the mark of a bad team is they find a way to lose games, and that's what the Browns did there. All right, moving right along. Probably one of the most shocking games of the week was the Colts over the Dolphins. And I could have seen the Colts winning that game. What I didn't expect was them to utterly demolish the Dolphins, 33-8, and that 8 at the end was a garbage time touchdown with Zach Wilson in the game. So the Colts, Danny Dimes, I believe he had 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run, looking like they made the right choice over Anthony Richardson if that's the output they're going to get from him. So the Colts, if they can keep that up, they are serious contenders for the division title there, because the AFC South is a very weak division. But talking about contenders in the AFC South, the Jaguars had a 26-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers. And as I was saying earlier, I don't know if that's as much of a testament to the Jaguars being good or just the Panthers being putridly bad. I don't know what we're doing. We kept our defensive coordinator Evero, and there's just all this talk that it's like, oh, he had a good defense in Denver, he's going to be able to put it together with his 3-4 scheme. We got obliterated on the ground by Jacksonville, and at a certain point, like, we added defensive talent in the offseason. Is this a talent problem, or is this a scheming problem? And I'm personally starting to think it's a little bit more of a scheme problem. I don't know how you can bring in talented people to stuff the run, and yet we are still really bad at stopping the run. Travis Etienne, who had a terrible sophomore slump last year, had like almost 200 yards rushing. I think it was like 165 or something stupid like that. We're not going to win a game when we're not able to get them off the field. I mean, literally, that drive, the Jaguars started like within their own 10-yard line, and in one play, they flipped the field. They're all the way on the Panthers' 20. We can't work with that. We need our defense to do more. And, I mean, honestly, we also, as far as the offense goes, as I know a lot of people are talking about how Bryce Young played really bad. I don't think they actually watched Bryce Young 2024 and 2023. He looked completely lost and wasn't able to execute the offense at all. What I saw against the Jaguars is that the opportunities were there, but we didn't execute. And that's a big difference, in my opinion. So I'm not writing off Bryce completely yet, but yes, agreed, it was not a bad game. He did throw 2 interceptions. I think I blame him for the first one. He probably shouldn't have thrown that pass, but the second one in garbage time at the end of the game, it bounces off Rico Dowdle's hands and goes to the Jaguars defender. That's not Young's fault. The fumble, though, the fumble is what I will blame Young for. When you are scrambling and you're 5'10 and like 170 pounds, you slide. You do not dive forward. You do not give the Jaguars the chance to Peanut Tillman punch the ball out. And that's exactly what happened. You are a scrawny toothpick in the NFL, and you are not going to be able to take on NFL defenders like that. So yeah, I never understand why a quarterback, unless he's going for the end zone, he's going for the pylon, do not dive forward. You slide unless you are a Josh Allen, a Lamar Jackson, maybe an Anthony Richardson, who you're like a running back and you're able to lower your shoulder and get more yards. But even then, you probably don't want to do that as a quarterback because you're going to injure your shoulder. All right, kind of the next game. This one was pretty boring, if I'm going to be honest. A very underwhelming debut from Ashton Jeanty. The Raiders take down the Patriots 20-13. Yeah, this was just not great. Ashton Jeanty, 2 yards a carry. You're expecting something a little bit more than that. Now, that being said, the Raiders I covered this in my offseason previews, the Raiders did have the worst rushing attack last year. So if Ashton Jeanty's having trouble, that might be their offensive line in the blocking game. The run block game is just really bad. So we'll have to see how this goes forward, continuing on in the season. I really want to see Ashton Jeanty do well, but honestly, I think the best rookie you saw this week was Emeka Mbuka. So I actually put a little side bet on that for Rookie of the Year on Emeka Mbuka because he looked fantastic against the Falcons. One thing I did forget to mention about the Panthers-Jaguars game, probably the only thing good that came out of that, I really liked what I saw out of McMillan. T-Mac, he was getting targets, he was getting catches, he almost had a really nice one-handed catch when he was being interfered with. Unfortunately, and then he had one later on in the game where he tried to one-handed and probably shouldn't have. That's rookie growing pains. He thinks that he's able to make the one-handed catches. Just make sure you secure it with 2 hands. The Jaguars defender was able to punch it out. But yeah, back to the Raiders-Patriots. I don't know what the Patriots were doing, having Drake May throw the ball over 40 times. Travion Henderson only got the ball, I believe, 5 times on the ground. I think he got a little bit more in the receiving game. So if Mike Vrabel was trying to establish the run like he did with Tennessee, he did not do a good job with it last week. Now, that could also be Josh McDaniels doing Josh McDaniels things. And now that he doesn't have Tom Brady, you can see that maybe he's not actually a very good offensive coordinator. But I'm curious to see how that plays out. All right. Moving right along, we got another 20-3 matchup. It was the Cardinals taking down the Saints 20-13. The Saints, I believe, are the worst team in the league. Them and the Browns, they've just got so many holes. But to their credit, they actually came out swinging and kept this as a one-possession game. The Cardinals, I expected to see more of them there. Not that I have them as a top-tier team. They're kind of like middle of the pack. But I lowered them. They got the win, but I lowered them a rank in my power rankings this last week. down to 21 because they're playing the worst team in the league. You got to play better than that. So that gives me a little hope against Carolina next week that, hey, they played the worst team in the league and they didn't play particularly well, so maybe we might have a chance. And we did beat Arizona last year in an exciting overtime game. Moving right along here, we have probably the most. Sorry, I will leave that one for the Ravens Bills, but I would say this is the second most exciting game of the week. Aaron Rodgers' revenge game against the Jets, 34-32. That was kind of a crazy matchup. Back and forth for sure. Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers going at it. Aaron Rodgers comes out 4 touchdown passes and leads the Steelers to victory. I had the Steelers rising 6 spots in my power rankings because of that, because I really thought they were middle of the pack, but because of that, their offense looked good, but their defense looks suspect, so we'll have to see how that plays out going forward. Quick rundown of the rest of the games. We got the Commanders beating the Giants 21-6. Broncos beating the Titans 20-12. I expected to see more out of the Broncos facing a pretty weak Titans team. Their defense looked great. Their offense, 4 turnovers, got to improve that. The 49ers outlast the final Seahawks drive. The Lions lose to the Packers. As I mentioned earlier, the Rams lose to the Texans. The Rams beat the Texans 14-9. And then the back and forth comeback game. The Bills beat the Ravens 41-40. And then the Vikings, this was the comeback game too. You had 2 back-to-back comebacks. The Vikings beating the Bears 27-24. And we've got Deebo Samuel having a good return here. Looks like he got it to the 50-yard line. That might be the spark that the Commanders need to get things going in this second half and make it theirs. It's 14-3 as we start the third quarter. Let's get this graphic updated. Here we are in the third quarter. Gonna see this first drive. Yeah, they're already on the Packers side of the field at their 46-yard line. Jaden Daniels starting out of the shotgun. He's got Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in the backfield. Motions him to his right. And he gets the rock. And he's gonna go forward for about 5. So we're gonna have 2nd and 5 here. Around the 41-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. For those of you who are watching, if you like this content, like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're posting awesome content all throughout the NFL season, and we'll be doing live reaction streams on most Thursday night football games. Oh, looks like Van Ness might have gone offsides there. They rule it an incomplete pass, and there's no flag for offsides. It really looks like Van Ness went early there. Yeah, it does look like it's a no call, and the Commanders already faced with 3rd down, a 3rd and 6. If they go 3 and out on this drive, it's not going to be a great start to the half, especially after that electrifying return by Deebo Samuel. Teams are getting set up here. Austin Eckler's in the backfield with Jaden Daniels. It's 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Zach Ertz is the tight end for Washington. One of the linebackers comes up to the line of scrimmage for Green Bay. He does blitz. Daniels holds on to the ball, throws, and gets it. That's Zach Ertz for the 1st down. All right, so the Commanders keep the chains moving. Yeah, it looks like Williams kind of fell over. Let's see who that is. Evan Williams fell over on the coverage there. Daniels in the shotgun. He's got Krosky Merritt in the backfield with him. And it's another handoff to Krosky Merritt, and the Packers doing a good job on him. I think he only got 3 there. Yeah, there's a lot to like about the new rookie, Krosky Merritt. You're going to see him get more and more. Oh, they were doing a little trickery there with number 80, looking like he was going to take the snap, but now it's Jaden Daniels with Deebo Samuel in motion. He throws it to Deebo in the flat, and that only gets about 3. So this is going to be a 3rd and 3. As we wind under 12:40 in the 3rd quarter, 3rd and 3 for the Commanders on the Packers side of the field. All right, we've got Daniels at the 29-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. Or sorry, nope, that's the 24-yard line. He's at the 29-yard line. The line of scrimmage is the 24. Daniels, back to throw. There's a flag, and that looks like it's holding, but it doesn't matter. Daniels gets sacked. There he is, Micah Parsons. It's a half a sack. But yeah, in the backfield yet again. Yeah, it's Connerly Jr. getting beat again by Micah Parsons. He holds him and then still can't get him. Looks like Cooper was the other guy who was in on the sack. That's Edrin Cooper. All right, so Matt Gay is going to come out and try to put 3 on the board again. He missed from 58, made from 51. This is a 52-yard attempt. Not a give me. Anything plus 50 is tough. There it is, and he's going to miss it. Oh, it hit the right upright and bounces out. It almost hooked in, but was not able to get there, so 2 misses for Matt Gay. And the first opening drive, they squander good field position and are not able to get it. Yeah, bounces off the upright yet again. That's a rough one for Matt Gay. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. All right, going back to previewing games from week 2. We had just talked about the Patriots at the Dolphins. I have the Patriots upsetting the Dolphins in that one. I really do think it's a coin flip. I'm concerned about what I was seeing from Miami. Now, to be fair, the Dolphins are at home. They play a little bit better in Florida. But the Patriots defense played pretty well against the Raiders. And yeah, I'm just really down on the Dolphins right now. I'm concerned about what they're actually able to do. So yeah, that's the Dolphins. I think they're going to lose to the Patriots. 49ers Saints. Oh my goodness. The 49ers already without George Kittle and Trent Williams. And CMC, he's dealing with issues. Brock Purdy's injured. I think it's really interesting now that Mac Jones is on the 49ers and he's going to get the start this week. We'll finally be able to see what Kyle Shanahan was going to be able to do with Mac Jones if he had been able to draft him over Trey Lance. So I'm kind of intrigued about that game from that perspective. Plus, it's against the Saints, so I do have the 49ers winning that just because I really do think the Saints aren't that good. And the 49ers defense, it actually played pretty well against the Seahawks. Came up with the final stop at the end of the game. Although, you can argue that was more Sam Darnold not knowing where his offensive lineman was and fumbling the ball rather than the 49ers making a play, per se. But You give credit where credit's due. They kept them to 13 points and were able to stop the final drive. So I really do think that the 49ers are going to win that one. Bills, Jets. Bills, they might be in for a trap game here because they're coming down from a high from that win over the Ravens. I have them winning, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see if the Jets can keep that offensive momentum going because they put up 32 last week. I'd be curious to see if it was the Steelers' defense being bad or the Jets' offense being good. We're back and Love throws long. He's able to get it to his tight end at the 35-yard line. That's Luke Musgrave. Luke Musgrave to the 35-yard line of the Commanders. And so just like that, the Packers already moving down the field. For those of you who are just joining the stream, this is the Dustytron channel. We post cool football content all the time. We post game picks. We post power rankings. We do live reaction videos. And so if you like what you're seeing, like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow a bunch. I appreciate it. All right, we've got Jordan Love in the shotgun on 1st and 10 from the Commanders' 35-yard line. He just throws that one out of bounds off his back foot. That was ugly, but good recognition on his part to know nothing was there and just get rid of the ball. We've got a 2nd and 10. There's 11 minutes and 3 seconds left in the third quarter. If you're the Commanders, you got to keep the Packers out of the end zone here because it's going to be hard to come back from 18 down. Now, that being said, we've seen some crazy comebacks already so far this year. 7 minutes left in the game. The Bills were able to come back against the Ravens down 15. So, like, crazy things can happen in the NFL, but you don't want to put yourself in that situation. It's a handoff to Jacobs. Jacobs getting some space, and he's going to be, I think they're going to give him the first down there. Either that or his knee came down about 1 yard short. Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's about, oh, wonder if they're going to use the new Sky technology on this, or they might have just already given him the first down. Is Dan Quinn going to challenge this? I think that would be silly. The clock is stopped at 10 minutes and 36 seconds. Okay, it looks like it's gonna be 3rd and 1 here. They're saying Jacobs did not get the first down. Yeah, I would just hand it to Jacobs again. Yeah, it looks like they're coming up with a 2 tight end formation here. Oh, they play fake it, pass it to Musgrave in the flat. He's got the first down, and he's down to the 17-yard line of the Commanders. First down, Packers, and they are officially in the red zone. Yeah, you can see that the Commanders, they're playing up close to the line of scrimmage, so they're able to just motion Musgrave and then to the left side and hit him in the flat after the play action, and it's enough to keep the chains moving. All right, Commanders defense, you gotta hold your ground here. It's a handoff to Jacobs on first down. He's losing his balance a little bit. There is a flag in the backfield in the direction of holding. Josh Jacobs gets about 3 on the play as we're at 9 minutes. It is holding. 9 minutes and 43 seconds left in the third quarter. It's a holding call on Ryan. That's Sean Ryan. Yeah, and you gotta hate those holding calls when the play didn't even get you that much. It only got you like 3 yards, but you lose 10 on it. So we've got a 1st and 20. We tick under 9 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the third. And if you're Matt LaFleur, you want to keep this clock running. You want to leave Washington with as little time as possible to mount a comeback. That's Savion Williams in motion. Oh, and we might have either an illegal shift or a false start. It looks like a false start here. So the Packers, they were at the 17-yard line. They've pushed themselves back 15 yards with 2 penalties. All right. Kind of looks like they're doing the same thing. Savion Williams moves in motion from the right to the left and now back to the right. Love throws mid-range pass, gets Tucker Kraft, and he's back to the 17-yard line. Or that's actually, no, that's the 13-yard line. So they pick up a huge chunk on first down. Yeah, I think it's going to be like 2nd and 7, I want to say. It's a good pass by Love there. Tucker Kraft having a big night. Second and 6. I was close. Yeah, Tucker Kraft just goes over the 100-yard receiving mark. A lot of that was the 55-yard reception he had in the first quarter. It's a handoff to Jacobs, and Jacobs gets the first down. It's going to be gold to go for the Packers. And if they score a touchdown on this drive, it'll be the first time they get a touchdown on a drive that didn't start within their own 10-yard line. First and goal for Green Bay, I believe, at like the Commanders' 7-yard line. So the Commanders had him backed up with a 1st and 25, but in 2 plays, they let the Packers get all the yardage back and more. All right, it was a single back under center for Love. He's getting chased. Love's just got to throw that away. Ugly pass, but he is able to get it out of the back of the end zone and to the sideline. So he just throws that one away. 2nd and goal upcoming. We're halfway through the 3rd quarter. 7:34 left to go. 14-3 Packers over the Commanders. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Commanders definitely in a pickle right here. They gotta hold them to a field goal here, keep it a 2-touchdown game. They can't let this get to 3 possessions. Josh Jacobs was moving in motion. Now he gets the ball. Going forward, breaking tackles. Couldn't quite get free. Only a gain of 2, so big 3rd and goal for Washington here. And if you're the Packers, you've done a pretty good job keeping the Commanders in check offensively. Do you go for it here and really try to get that 3-possession advantage, or do you just tack on the 3? Third and goal for the Packers. Huge play here. Love in the shotgun. He's got Dontavian Wicks moving in motion to the left. And it looked like it might have been a timeout for a second, but it's not. Love looks like he's going to throw it out of the back of the end zone. Didn't have what he wanted open. So a big stop for Washington. 4th and goal. We'll see what the Packers do here. Do they keep the offense on the field? Yeah, I think LaFleur was trying to call a timeout there. It was really odd. Did they get it off? It doesn't look like it, and Love just threw the ball away. So they are going for the field goal here. McManus lines up. It's a chip shot, 22-yarder. The kick is up, and it's good. So the Packers increase their lead back up to 14. McManus tried to do it at the end of the half. Couldn't succeed. We've got 17-3 Packers over the Commanders. We've got 6 minutes and 37 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to my live reactions to this game here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. For those of you who are watching, welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy what you're listening to. If you like the channel, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're posting game picks and power rankings every week throughout the NFL season, and we're doing live reactions to games, most Thursday games throughout the season. This one, I was expecting this to be a little bit more competitive. Hopefully the Commanders can do something to get the score a little closer and make this interesting down the stretch, but the Packers have really controlled things all through the game, 17-3 right now. I really feel like the Packers could be winning this game by more. They've left a few points on the field. McManus missed a field goal, and then they also had a turnover on downs early in the game. Give them that field goal and another touchdown. Get a touchdown on that turnover on downs. Love just underthrew the ball a little bit for Matthew Golden and was able to be swatted away. If he leads them there, that's a touchdown. And this is a 27-3 game, and it's a big difference. So Washington, big stop there, holding them to a field goal. They keep this a two-possession game. They are not out of it, but they got to get something going on offense. So if we're looking at the stats here, 61 passing yards for the Commanders as compared to 265 by the Packers. Rushing yards, the Commanders have 42, the Packers have 88. And yeah, if we're looking, not really any interesting defensive stats there. But that's what you're looking at from a rushing and passing perspective. As a reminder, I will not be streaming the Thursday night game next week. I will be starting to stream again on the 4th for the Seahawks at the Cardinals. That will be the next stream. But yeah, I think you really gotta like what if you're a Packers fan, you gotta like what you've seen from both the offense and the defense from the Packers on this one. Sure, you've left a couple of points on the field, but still, you have dominated this game. All right, the kick is returned by Deebo Samuel. He had a good return to start the second half. This one, not so good, or it's fine. It gets to the 27-yard line. So that is where the Commanders will start this drive. And yeah, they've only mustered a field goal so far today. Jaden Daniels, 63.2 completion percentage, but only 68 passing yards. Expecting a little bit more out of him there. And I'm not quite seeing it yet. And I know that just like C.J. Stroud, he might have a sophomore slump this year, but I was a believer in Jaden Daniels. And a lot of the reason about that was just how cool he was under pressure last year. He had some big moments, and he delivered. So I'm a believer in Jaden Daniels and his talent. So it's a little concerning, the start to this season. Not that he's playing bad, but he's not playing electrifying. And there's a first down pass. Looks like he got it to Ben Sinot, I believe. So it goes for about 8, I think. As we get close to ticking down, under 6 minutes left in the third quarter. All right. It's a 2nd and 3. That was a 7-yard gain. Eckler gets the handoff and is thrown down right away by Cooper. So this is going to be a 3rd and 3, I believe. Yeah, he just knifes right in there. Eckler never really had a chance. 3rd and 3. Commanders got to keep this drive going. They're starting to run out of time to mount a comeback. Daniels throws. It's too low. Incomplete. Pressure was coming. That's a bad pass. Intended for McLaurin. McLaurin didn't have a chance at it. 4th and 3. And yeah, I think you're too far in your own territory to go for it on 4th down here. I think we're going to see the punting unit. Yeah, Cooper comes in on the blitz again, makes Daniels rush his throw. It's too low for Terry McLaurin on the comeback route. Yeah, I feel like Daniels has done a decent job on most of his passes today, but that one was bad. So I believe this is the 3rd punt for the Commanders as he kicks it away. And this is fielded by Nixon, Keyshawn Nixon. He's down at the 15. There is some yellow on the field, though. Some laundry on the field. Let's see what we got here. It's holding on the receiving team, so this is going to back him up. It is going to start the Packers within their own 10-yard line, though, so mark them down for a touchdown here. Both drives where they've started within their own 10-yard line, they have gotten touchdowns. I think the penalty will start them at the 7, their own 7. It's interesting, though, because if the Commanders can get a turnover on this side of the field, this close to the Packers' end zone, they can flip the script really quick. But yeah, we need to see, the Commanders need to do something. Because their defense, they've been giving up a bunch of yardage. Yeah, over 300 yards of offense. 265 through the air, 88 on the ground. And then the Commanders, they only have about a little over, yeah, it's like 110 yards of offense. That's not great. So going over to week 2 previews, we've got the Seahawks at Steelers next. I had the Seahawks winning this one. I know the Steelers, I could see this one going either way. The Steelers played really well in the first week, but I feel like the Seahawks defense is going to, it's played really well. However, their offense, maybe it's not quite up to par. I'm torn on this one because I could see the Steelers winning this one, but I did pick Seattle. The Rams versus the Titans, I think you've got an easy win for the Rams there. They played a tough, hard-fought, low-scoring battle against the Houston Texans. This one, the Titans defense played really well against Denver, so it might not be a huge game, but the Titans offense struggled mightily. The Rams defense is pretty good. I don't see the Rams losing this one. I have the Rams in that. And now we get to my team, and just so you know, when I'm picking the Panthers games, I will never pick the Panthers to win. I just don't do it. I don't get my expectations up that they're actually going to win a game. That being said, I do think that the Cardinals are going to beat them. I know it was close last year, but our defense does not look improved at all. So what I can say, my best advice to fantasy players, if you have running backs, if you have James Conner or Trey Benson, play them against the Panthers' run defense. We are atrocious. All right. Looks like it's the 9-yard line, so it is within their own 10-yard line, so expect a touchdown on this drive if we see trends continue. It's a handoff to Josh Jacobs to start, and he gets 1. I think we're going to have a 2nd and 9 as we tick under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel, here on YouTube Live. Yeah, 2nd and 9, 1-yard gain for Josh Jacobs there. Jordan Love in the backfield. He has Dontavian Wicks in motion. Hands it off to Jacobs again, and that's a good tackle by former Panther Frankie Louvu. And so this is going to be a 3rd and 8 upcoming. Interesting 2 runs to Jacobs there to start the drive. All right, Love is back in the shotgun for this 3rd down play, 3rd and 8 from their own 11-yard line. Love back to throw. He's got pressure and he just dirts it. And so that is big for Washington. not much time comes off the clock and they're going to get the ball back. And they'll probably get favorable field position because the Packers did not get a first down. They're going to be punting with the line of scrimmage being at their own 11-yard line. So the punter will be in the end zone. So they'll probably, with a decent return, get this drive starting in Packers territory. So it's kind of curious here. The Packers have been controlling this game, but they haven't put the Commanders away yet. It's a 2-touchdown game. The Commanders got a touchdown. They're right back in it. And here's the punt. Angles it to the right. It's caught. Returned. And, he gets it hit hard at the 50, but does get it to the 50. It's Jalen Lane on the return. 3 minutes and 31 seconds left in the third quarter. The Commanders' offense will be coming back on the field. All right. But yeah, the Cardinals play the running backs against the Panthers' defense because we're bad. Gave up like 160 yards to Travis Etienne. Now, Liam Cohen, maybe he instituted some stuff to get the running game going better. I don't know, but... All right, and now the next one. This one I think is going to be really interesting. The Colts and the Broncos. Broncos at Colts. Are the Colts for real? If they are, they'll be able to compete with the Broncos defense, which is one of the best in the league. I have the Broncos winning that one just because that defense, it's nasty. All right, and continuing on, we've got the Eagles at the Chiefs, rematch of Super Bowl 59 and 57. You feel it's at Arrowhead. You feel like the Chiefs are really going to want revenge in that one. I don't see it happening. I had originally picked them, but then when I saw them lose to the Chargers, I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. Now the Eagles, they did show some weakness and sluggishness at the end of the Cowboys game. I expected them to put that game away. They were definitely playing better in the first half than Dallas was, but I still think they come out on top against the Chiefs here. So I have them winning that one. The Falcons and Vikings. I believe I picked the Falcons in this game. They put up a good fight against Tampa Bay, who I think are one of the premier teams in the NFC. Vikings, got it. I think that the Vikings are a good 8 to 9 win team this year because they've just got so much talent around JJ McCarthy. But what version of JJ McCarthy are we going to get in this game? Are we going to get the one who led them back to victory against the Bears, or are we going to get the first first three quarters JJ McCarthy, who was really, really bad? So I've got the Falcons winning that one. I think they'll be able to pull it out. All right, we've got the Bucks at Texans. I picked the Texans in this one. They are at home. I could really see the Bucks winning this one. I really think they are the better team, but I think it might be a bit of a trap game for the Bucks. And the Texans do have a really good defense. All right, we've got Jaden Daniels on a 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. He throws. Tried to get Noah Brown, but not able to connect. I don't like these low percentage throws. That was towards the sideline. But it either seems like they're doing these low percentage throws or they're doing checkdowns. You haven't seen the Commanders receivers get as open as the Packers receivers have been. Yeah, the ball was there, but that's a tough catch for Noah Brown to make. Daniels back to throw on 2nd and 10. Throws it underneath to Zach Ertz. That's he's fighting for some extra yardage. Got about another yard. And so this is going to be a very manageable 3rd and 2. And I think that the Commanders are in 4-down territory here. A field goal doesn't really do you much good. It's still a 2-possession game. I think you got to get some momentum going into the 4th quarter here. Make the Packers feel like, hey, we can't just cruise the rest of this game. It's a handoff to Eckler, and second effort, he almost got it, but I think he's going to be short. It's gonna be like 4th and inches, and yeah, I think you go for this here. Yeah, the spot looks like it's short. Clock continues to run. We're below 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. 4th and inches is the official ruling. And, they're in the shotgun. I don't understand why teams do this on 4th and inches. They're in the shotgun. Jaden Daniels in the shotgun with Eckler. He's going to hand it to Eckler, and he just barely got it. The offensive line pushes him forward, but he does indeed get it. That was way more nerve-wracking than it had to be. 1st and 10 for the Commanders. But you see that. The Packers are making them fight tooth and nail to just get 1 first down. It took them 4 downs to get it. Daniels got some pressure, and he's going to go down. He's sacked at the 49-yard line. It's Rashawn Gary. This defensive line of the Packers has been putting pressure on Jaden Daniels all night and making his life heck. Yeah, Jaden Daniels passing now down to 58% completion percentage. You don't like it when a quarterback gets below 60% completion percentage. He's 14 of 24, only 88 yards passing. 2nd and 18, he throws, able to. I don't know if the catch was secured. Nope, hard to tell. See what the ruling is here. As we wind under a minute left in the the third quarter. 3rd and 7. They are ruling a completion. Got Zach Ertz there. 3rd and 7. Now as we wind under 40 seconds left to play in the third quarter, getting down to the fourth quarter soon. Jaden Daniels in the shotgun. Packers showing blitz. Will they bring it? Thought I saw a movement on the line. Might have been a false start, but it's incomplete. No flag. 4th and 7, 22 seconds left. Yeah, the Packers brought the heat there. Ball was underthrown for McLaurin. You sometimes get that pass interference call when the receiver is trying to come back to an underthrown ball, but that one must have been too underthrown for the refs to throw that one. All right, we've got a big 4th and 7 coming up. They are going for it. Packers showing blitz again. Are they going to bring it? They're rushing 4. Throws, and it's Ertz. He catches the ball, but does he have enough for the first? He got pushed backwards as he was securing it. Right now, they're marking it a yard short, but there is a flag near where Ertz caught the ball. LaFleur not happy, so it seems like it might be going against the Packers. It is indeed going against the Packers. Defensive holding. Looks like it might be Hobbs. I believe that's Nate Hobbs. Yeah, he does prevent Ertz from getting out of his break there. And so it would have been short, but the drive continues because of the penalty. 1st and 10 seconds. Will the Commanders get a playoff before the quarter ends? They do. And it looks like it was just a designed run by Daniels, but the Packers defend it well. Daniels somehow gets back to the line of scrimmage. And that is the end of the third quarter. Our score, 17-3, Packers over the Commanders. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. One more quarter to go. Commanders driving. Are they going to be able to put this together? Let me see if I can put a little possession marker up on the screen. right, this is going to be a little lame. I'll probably work on this graphic a little bit more for future streams, but we're going to roll with it right now. But yeah, the Commanders have the possession. Yeah, this game, it hasn't, yeah. The Commanders might make it exciting in the fourth quarter here, but yeah, this has been a little bit of a slogfest. Only 2 touchdowns in the game. I was thinking that this was going to be a little bit more back and forth, but it's really the story of the Packers have been able to get the yardage on offense, and the Commanders have been struggling. For those of you just tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel. We post all sorts of cool football content throughout the week, throughout the off season and the regular season. We post weekly game predictions, weekly power rankings, and we do live reaction streams just like this one. So if you like what you're seeing, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I truly appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. All right, we are going into the fourth quarter here. Jaden Daniels starting with a 2nd and 10 from the Packers' 32-yard lines. Empty backfield from the Shark. Micah Parsons getting in the backfield, causing him to scramble, and whoa, he gets upended by number 20. Who is number 20? Fantastic tackle. That's Javon Bullard. The nice tackle on Jaden Daniels, but it's Micah Parsons who makes this play. Conley Jr. gets blown by again, and Parsons just in the backfield instantaneously. Jaden Daniels has to run for his life, and Bullard is able to make a nice tackle on Jaden Daniels. I'm sure Dan Quinn doesn't like his franchise quarterback getting hit like that. And the Commanders take a timeout for some reason. Maybe Daniels needs a little bit of time after that hit. But yeah, it's 3rd down. Very important 3rd down. Packers defense is playing ferociously tonight. They have 4 sacks on Jaden Daniels tonight. All right, we got a 3rd and 9. 14 minutes and 26 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It's going to come down to the wire here. The Commanders are running out of possessions left in the game to turn this around. 3rd and 9 from the 31-yard line. Another shotgun snap for Jaden Daniels. Throws it quick, gets it to McLaurin. And McLaurin has the first down for the Commanders at the 20-yard line. He caught it about 1 yard short of the first down, but is able to split the defenders and get about 3 more yards and keep this drive alive for Washington. It's just a nice route by McLaurin, sits in the zone, turns around, faces the quarterback, able to go forward and drag Xavier McKinney along with him a little bit for a few extra yards. 1st and 10, the Commanders are in the red zone for, I believe, the first time in this game. He throws it short to Ertz. Ertz gets open. Ertz is going towards the end zone. It might have gotten there. It's a signal. Touchdown, Commanders. We'll have to watch the replay of that. It was close, but Zach Ertz gets into the end zone. And this one, my friends, is not over. In the words of Chris Daughtry, it's not over. Part of me is standing in the ground. Yeah, that's just a number 7 there. Who whiffs on that tackle? Quay Walker. Oh, no, not Quay Walker. Known for shoving trainers. And the extra point by Matt Gay is good. So yeah, I mean, honestly, if Matt Gay made those 2 field goals, this is a 1-point game. So for all the dominance that the Packers have had in this one, they haven't put the Commanders away, and we could see this coming down the stretch as a pretty exciting game. The Packers have to respond this next drive. They can't let the Commanders back into this game. But yeah, really bad whiff on the tackle by Quay Walker there. But yeah, I believe the only game I did not talk about picking, I originally had the Raiders upsetting the Chargers, but after seeing the full slate of games on week 1, I switched that over to the Chargers. I think I am really feeling like the Chargers are a nice, stable, solid team. And I think they can get the job done against Las Vegas this week. The Raiders, especially with Brock Bowers being questionable, I'm not as high on them going into this contest. So reviewing my picks for week 2, I had the Packers beating the Commanders in this one, and they are beating them still 17-10. We'll have to see if that holds up for the remainder of the game. Ravens over the Browns, Jaguars upsetting the Bengals, Cowboys beating the Giants, Lions beating the Bears, Patriots beating the Dolphins, 49ers beating the Saints, Bills beating the Jets, Seahawks beating the Seahawks beating the Steelers, Rams beating the Titans, Cardinals beating the Panthers, the Broncos beating the Colts, the Eagles over the Chiefs, the Falcons over the Vikings, Texans over the Bucks, and the Chargers over the Raiders. So those are my week 2 picks. And now just talking about my power rankings. So at the very bottom, Saints at 32. 31, I have the Carolina Panthers, down 2 from the previous week. Browns at 30, up 1 from the previous week because I thought they put up a decent fight against the Bengals. Giants down 3. That was a putrid performance against the Washington Commanders. They're at 29. 28, it's the Titans up 2. I thought that they put up a better fight against the Broncos than I really expected them to. The Jaguars are up 1. I can only credit them so much for beating the lowly Carolina Panthers. They're at 27. And Matt Gay kicks it off. And it goes for a touchback. We'll see where this comes out to. I'm not sure where the touchback happens this year. I know last year was the 30-yard line. I can't remember if they brought it out to the 35 or not. I think they did. And I was kind of like, if you're bringing it out to the 35-yard line, then it's like only 5 more yards for a legal procedure. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. We've got 13 minutes and 45 seconds left. There's a little bit of momentum on the Commander side of the ball. Oh, and I got to move this football over here now. The Packers have possession. All right, we've got Jordan Love in the shotgun. Does play action to Josh Jacobs. They go, and he hits Dontavian Wicks for a first down. So first play, they go a little aggressive, get a first down on a pass. Yeah, Dontavian Wicks moved in motion at the beginning of the play. Marshawn Lattimore followed him, but wasn't able to keep up with him. And Dontavian Wicks gets it right at the first down marker. Good pass by Jordan Love. Good route by Wicks. As we get close to 13 minutes left in the game, Packers have it on the their own 46-yard line. Oh, there's a right in the backfield, and I'm going to say that was a forward pass. It's incomplete. Tucker Kraft was not able to corral it. Someone was coming right through the line for the Commanders. There is a flag down. Let's see what happened. Maybe it was offsides. And it's holding on the defense. Holding on the defense, so that's going to give the Packers 5 yards and a first down. Looks like they're calling it on Lattimore on Savion Williams. It does hook his arm a bit there. And I don't know. It's a little ticky-tacky. The Commanders have got to come up with a stop here. They can't let the Packers get more points when their offense finally was able to get a touchdown. They need to make a play. This is 1st and 10 from the Commanders' 49-yard line. Love, back to pass. Getting some pressure, throws it across the middle. Incomplete to Romeo Doubs. Almost had it, but incomplete. 2nd and 10 upcoming. 12:58 left in the game. Love has a decent shot here, just kind of puts it a little too far out in front of Doubs. Pretty decent coverage there, though. All right, Love from the shotgun. He's got Josh Jacobs back with him. Dontavian Wicks in motion from the right to the left. It's a handoff to Jacobs. He's got a little bit of room to work with. Gets about 5. So this is going to be a 3rd and 5. Very important down for the Commanders. Yeah, and if you're Green Bay, you might be in 4-down territory here. You want to keep this drive alive. You want to keep the clock running. All right, Love in the shotgun. 3rd and 6 is the official ruling. He's got Chris Brooks in the backfield with him. Oh, Commanders bringing pressure. Looks like he's decently picked up, and he didn't have anything downfield. He's throwing it, and oh, he gets it to Tucker Kraft for the first down, but there is a flag. Did Kraft push off? It's kind of seeming like it's defensive holding. Tucker Kraft having a monster game today. It is indeed holding, but they're going to decline it. Tucker Kraft gets the catch. Let's check up on his receiving yards. He's well over 100 now. Yeah, he's their leading receiver. 5 receptions for 116 yards for Tucker Kraft. All right. We're back here. That's Heath in motion. We've got a handoff to Josh Jacobs for 2. Yeah, and if you're Green Bay, you're in decent field position for a field goal. Keep that clock running. Don't let the clock stop. Eke the clock out. You would love to get a touchdown here, but a field goal still makes it a 2-possession game. 17-10, Packers over the Commanders. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. Oh, we've got Savion Williams in the backfield. He took the snap, and he's running with the ball still. Down at the 20. They get the first down. Some trickery there. Yeah, and I think he slipped a little bit. He was thinking touchdown. But still, a really big gain there. I believe it was a gain of 15. Yeah, some trickery where Jordan Love goes and lines up as a receiver. Savion Williams takes the snap. Yeah, that's a 15-yard gain going from the 35 to the 20. And yeah, he just slips there at the end. Actually, they officially rule him down at the 19. It's a 1st and 10. And it's a jet sweep to Matthew Golden. And he fights forward and gets 8. So they believe they're at the 12-yard line right now. 2nd down as we wind under 10 minutes left in the game. Jaden Daniels on the sideline can't do much about his defense's inability to stop the Packers. Oh, what a night for Tucker Kraft, 116 receiving yards. 2nd and 2 for the Packers. They're at the 11-yard line of the Commanders. Shotgun formation. Josh Jacobs in the backfield. He gets the rock. Going forward, got the first down. So we've got 1st and goal to go. As we wind under 9.5 minutes left in the game, Matt LaFleur is looking to do the finishing punch with a touchdown here. Yeah, it's not necessarily a finishing punch, but it would make it very difficult. All right, Josh Jacobs in motion. Jordan Love. He's got it. Rolling out to his right. Throws. It's Tucker Kraft wide open in the end zone for the touchdown. Tucker Kraft. What a night. And that's going to make this comeback very difficult for Washington. Yeah, and that's the worst thing you can do. You finally get your first touchdown of the game, and you just let the Packers go right down the field and get a touchdown of their own. The defense, the Commanders' defense has been letting them down in this one, but so has the offense. The offense has not been pulling their weight in this. McManus kicks, it's through the upright, and we're back up to a 14-point lead for the Packers. 24-10 over the Commanders. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. For all those who are viewing, if you're new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I truly appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. We post great stuff all the time. We post game picks, weekly game picks. We post weekly power rankings. And we do live reaction streams just like the one you're listening to and watching right now. And I also have a playlist of all of my off-season previews for every team. We'll see how well those hold up at the end of the season. This is the first time I've, in the off-season, posted those to YouTube. We'll see how they hold up. I do it myself every year, and I'm not that far off a lot of the time. But it'll be really interesting to review it and see how I ended up doing at the end of the year. But yeah, we've got 24-10 in the 4th quarter for the Packers right now. Packers have dominated this game, and that touchdown response to the Commanders' touchdown might have just taken back all the momentum that the Commanders had. There's 8 minutes and 57 seconds left in the game, so the Commanders are going to have to get a touchdown on this drive, hold the Packers, get another touchdown. Jaden Daniels, he rises up to the occasion. He might be able to do it, but this is going to be tough, especially with how ferocious that pass rush of the Packers has been all night. I believe they've got 4 sacks on Jaden Daniels. No, it looks like 3 sacks. 3 sacks on Jaden Daniels tonight. Oh yes, but continuing on with my power rankings, we were at 27, that was the Jaguars. At 26, I have the Patriots falling 4 spots, because for all the hype there was in the offseason, I was expecting a much better output against the Raiders than that. At 25, we've got the Dolphins, the biggest faller of the week. They fell 9 spots on my power rankings, but that's what kind of happens when you get obliterated by the Daniel Jones-led Colts. The Bears, they remained stagnant at 24. They showed some promise earlier in the game, and then they completely choked it away, so I kind of just kept them where they were at. At 23, we've got the Cowboys. It's up 4. I thought the Cowboys were going to be really bad this year, but their offense, it played pretty well against Philadelphia, which has a really strong defense, and they kept that game way more competitive than I thought they would. So credit where credit is due. I think they did a good job, and they deserve to go up in the rankings. That was a touchback, I believe, from McManus. At 22, I have the Jets up 3. That offensive output was ridiculous. I was not expecting that at all. All right, the Commanders starting this drive at the 35-yard line. Jaden Daniels in the shotgun. He's got 4 wide receivers and a running back, all lined up on the line of scrimmage. So no, empty backfield. And here he takes the snap. Oh, he's got people in the backfield. He runs forward, only able to get 2. Yeah, and that is just a theme that I've been seeing. I'm really interested to see if it continues on throughout the season. But this pass rush of the Packers has been insane. They're in the backfield like every single drop back. Yeah, Jaden Daniels definitely struggling with the pressure a little bit. All right, he's back to throw. It's a delayed handoff to Eckler. And they're going to be facing a 3rd and 6 already. As we wind down to 8 minutes left in the game. 24-10 Packers over the Commanders. We've got a 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4 upcoming. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel, here on YouTube Live. Jaden Daniels in the shotgun. He's got Eckler back there. And his ball gets tipped to the line of scrimmage, incomplete. 4th and 4, and if you're the Commanders, you've already used one of your timeouts earlier. I think you got to go for this here. What is Dan Quinn going to decide to do? It looks like he keeps his offense out on the field. But yeah, if the Commanders don't get this, it might be game over for them. 4th and 4. 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. This could be the game. At their own 39-yard line. Deebo Samuel in motion. Packers bring 6. Throws. The pass is incomplete. Nixon hits it away. It was intended for Lane. And the Packers are going to take over on downs. Tried to hit a quick slant. Weren't able to connect. Packers brought 6. And yeah, the Commanders, it's not looking so great for them. Only putting up 10 points against this Packers defense. So the Commanders, they were one of the better offenses last year. They've only put up 10 against the Packers. The Lions were one of the better defenses last year and were only able to put up 13. So the theme here might just be the Packers' defense is really good. Thank you for everyone who has been tuning into my live stream tonight. I truly appreciate it. It's been fun to hang out. Oh, I probably should have noticed this earlier, but yes, Jaden Reed was ruled out with a shoulder injury for the rest of the game. We'll see how that plays into things. Yeah, that's probably why you're seeing a few more snaps for Savion Williams, because Jaden Reed is out. .24. Oh, I gotta move the possession ball. Yeah, so the Packers are gonna have it at the Commanders' 39-yard line, I believe. Packers now have the ball, run some clock, tack on a field goal, make it a 3-possession game. You've got this one pretty well in the bag. But going back to my power rankings, we left off with the Jets at 22. At 21, I've got the Cardinals down 1 because I think they should have been able to handle the worst team in the league, the Saints, better than that. The Raiders are at number 20. I'm putting them up 1. They did win, but it wasn't super impressive. The Colts, they move up 4. That was an impressive win over the Dolphins, and way more. I kind of felt like I couldn't move the Colts up too much yet, because it could be the Dolphins just having a really off game. I need to see more before I'm willing to be like, yeah, Danny Dimes Colts, they're in the top half of the league. The 49ers and Falcons stay in place at 18 and 17 respectively. And the Packers, they're passing here. Trying to put the final nail in the coffin, it looks like. An overthrow of Dontavian Wicks. I don't like it. You're in a great position to win the game, Green Bay. Just keep the clock running here. All right, we've got 2nd and 10. Golden moving in motion from right to left. It's a handoff to Jacobs. Jacobs going to get about 3. So we've got a 3rd down coming up. We just ticked under 7.5 minutes left in the game. Halfway through the 4th quarter. Yeah, and I bet if the Packers don't pick this up, they'll probably kick the field goal. But I would think if you're Green Bay, you'd like to get a little bit closer. This is a pretty long field goal, and McManus missed a 48-yarder earlier. All right, Jordan Love in the shotgun with Chris Brooks in the backfield. Commanders bringing the pressure, and yeah, the ball doesn't get there. Incomplete. Tried to throw it in the flat to Brooks, but it doesn't get there. So yeah, they go all-out blitz. They get to Love, and he's not able to put enough on the ball. So what does LaFleur do here? Does he go for it, or does he kick the field goal? It looks like Love is going to the sideline, so he's going to attempt the field goal. And I think that's the right call here. I think that you try to make it a 3-possession game, because that definitely makes it much more probable for you to win. But if McManus misses this, Commanders are still very much in the game. Score before the 2-minute warning. You've got 2 timeouts in the 2-minute warning. You can get the ball back. And we'll see momentarily what McManus can do. This one's definitely longer. 56-yard field goal. That's why you would have liked them to get a little bit more yardage last time. Can McManus make up for his 48-yard miss? Oh, it's looking good. It is good. He got it. Oh, that's a big hit to the Commanders there, as it now becomes a 3-possession game. 17-point lead for the Packers, 27-10. Makes it from 56. Big kick by McManus. Yeah, and I would say probably at this point, the Packers have all but won this. We're under, I believe, 6 minutes. And it's a 3-possession game. 6 minutes and 42 seconds left. So it's not over, but it's pretty hard to come back from this. And the Commanders' offense hasn't really been showing me that firepower that's going to get it done. For those who are watching, if you're new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. We post great content all the time. We're posting game picks and power rankings every week of the season, and we'll be running more streams like this for Thursday night football games throughout the season. I have tagged one Monday night game I might do. The Panthers are on Monday night versus the 49ers. I might do a live reaction stream to that one. So you can see my misery about how bad Carolina is. Now that being said, if that's in November, and if we're like 1-9 at that point or whatever we will be, or maybe winless, I probably won't do it. I won't put myself through that. But I will try to do most Thursday night games. That being said, I will not be streaming next Thursday night. I will be doing resuming week 4 for the Seahawks at the Cardinals. Cardinals will be debuting their rivalries uniform in that game, I believe. I think the only real rivalries uniform I liked were I liked the 49ers too. I liked the 49ers and I liked the Dolphins. The other ones didn't do much for me. The Bills are okay. I think the Bills are passable. But it's kind of just doing the exact same thing that the Vikings did with their Winter Warrior uniform. So I wasn't that blown away by it. It looks good, but I'm not like, wow, that's different. Miami, I think, looks really cool, but they didn't go with the Miami Vice color scheme. They could have gotten the magenta in there. Jets looks terrible. I hate the Jets one. The Rams I was really disappointed with because I thought they could do something really cool with the navy blue midnight color scheme, and they didn't. It was honestly really underwhelming what they ended up doing with that helmet, because I actually really like the Rams uniform, this most recent rebranding that they did, the blue chrome helmet and the really bright yellow. I think it's really good, because I never actually liked the Rams helmet when it was navy blue in the past. I think the royal blue works a lot better. But yeah, they kind of tried to do a throwback to that, but the uniform's just kind of ugly. All right, we've got Jaden Daniels starting from his own 35. Throws a short pass to Ertz. Ertz trying to push forward, but is only able to get 7. The Commanders, they got to hurry up here. They don't have much time. They got to score quick if they're to have any chance to come back here. They are down 27-10. I got to move that possession ball back to the Commanders. There we go. All right, Jaden Daniels throws. It's complete. McLaurin to the 46 of Green Bay. Now, the Green Bay Packers, they're probably going to be playing not super aggressive defense here, so you might see the Commanders get this touchdown. All right, empty backfield. Daniels takes the snap. They're only rushing 4, and incomplete, intended for Lane. Looks like Nixon almost got that one, but wasn't able to hold on. We're below 6 minutes left. The clock is stopped at 5 minutes and 54 seconds. Another shotgun snap for Daniels. He's back. Had Eckler, just throws it at his feet. Incomplete, so we've got a 3rd and 10. Yeah, Daniels' completion percentage going down the drain here. He's thrown 33 times, but it's like they haven't. They've run 18 times, thrown 19 times. It's pretty balanced when you think about it. They haven't really been able to get the running game going at all. All right, 3rd and 10. He takes the snap, gets it to Debo underneath, and Debo able to get the first for about a 12-yard gain there. That was a good run after the catch by Debo Samuel. Austin Eckler looks injured, though. That's not good. He's not really able to put any weight on his leg. So far, I would say my decision to play Krosky Merritt over Tyreek Hill here in one of my fantasy games doesn't look particularly good. Oh, it's a non-contact injury for Eckler. Might be his Oh, you hate to see that. He's grabbing towards his ankle on a non-contact injury. It's looking like an Achilles tear. He's helped off the field by the training staff. But that might be the last we see of Eckler from this year. All right. We've got the Commanders at the 16-yard line. Jaden Daniels runs forward. Gets about 2 yards. As we're ticking under 4.5, I really feel like... Oh, Daniels got his face mask hit a little bit there going on down to the ground. They're in the red zone. Daniels throws, completes it. That's to McLaurin at the 6-yard line. They might be wondering if maybe Jaden Daniels got a head hit and he's still out there. We're under 4 minutes to play. 3rd and 2 from the 6-yard line of Green Bay. This might be a little bit too late here. Throws incomplete. There's a flag, either for holding, defensive holding, or pass interference. Ertz threw his hands up as he was being thrown to. So this is likely going to be a first down for the Commanders. Looks like it's defensive holding, not pass interference. So it'll be half the distance to goal, I think. It'll put him at the 3-yard line, I believe. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty egregious hold by McKinley there. Not much, McKinney, not much to debate on that one. Kind of just bear hugged him. 1st and goal for the Commanders. It's very important they don't use any of their timeouts here. So he's got one receiver, this Jeremy McNichols. Come on, Jeremy McNichols. Don't poach a touchdown from Krosky Merritt. Eckler is being carted off. So, yeah, and his shoes off here. You're thinking that's either... He was grabbing his ankle, so I don't think it's an ACL tear, but that's looking like an Achilles injury. All right. Daniels has McLaurin move in motion from the right to the left. Oh, early movement there. That's an indication of a false start on Algaretti. Allegretti? Maybe that's how you say it. Yeah, no, he definitely moves first. So that's a 5-yard penalty in the wrong direction for Washington. First and goal, it'll be from the 8-yard line. And there's, I think that's Jeremy McNichols in the rush of the Packers get there. There's 3 Packers back there, and they sack Daniels for a loss of 2. They gotta, if they want to win this game, they gotta hurry up. It doesn't really look like they're moving with much urgency. We're under 3.5 to play. They're lining up, second and goal, taking far too long to get this play off. It's an empty backfield for Daniels. Oh, big rush. Throws it short to Samuel. Samuel gets it into the end zone. It is a touchdown for the Washington Commanders. So it's not over yet, but I would... So they're going to go for 2. I don't see the point. I mean, okay. Yeah. I hate this. This is this whole stupid analytics thing. It's an 11-point game right now. Take the extra point and make it a 10-point game. Making it a 9-point game doesn't buy you anything except the ability to win it with a field goal instead of tie it. Wonder what the spread is on this one, if it's more because of that. Well, they might have gotten the Packers to jump. Yeah, there is a flag. Oh, but the 2-point conversion is good. It's Luke McCaffrey. Luke McCaffrey showing up for a reception. So they do get the 2-point conversion. But like I said, this is still a 2-possession game. So I don't understand the point of that. 27-18. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is if you get a touchdown. If you get a touchdown and you miss the extra point, you can still tie it with a field goal. Because it's 9, you would get 6. There would still be a 3-point difference. But if you miss this, then you're forcing yourself to have to get a 2-point conversion when you get the touchdown the next time. I don't get it. All right, but it does look like they are lining up for an onside kick. They only have the 2-minute warning and 2 timeouts. And you do kind of you're down 2 possessions still. You can't really give it to the Packers and then hope to get 2 more possessions out of the game. So will the Commanders make it interesting and get this onside? We've got 2 minutes and 53 seconds left to play. Oh, they took another timeout. That might have been for the Austin Eckler injury. They only have 1 timeout, so yeah, they definitely need to kick the onside here. Matt Gay's 2 missed field goals definitely hurting them right now, because it would be a 3-point ball game if he had made those. And here comes the onside attempt. It bounces, but it's fielded well by Dontavian Wicks. He catches it and falls down at about the 47-yard line. Yeah, he tries to get that hop on there. But yeah, it goes to the second line of the Packers receiving. Of the Packers receiving line, and Dontavian Wicks does what he has to do, gets the ball, and gives the Packers back the possession. So this one gonna be pretty tough for the Commanders to win here. Starting at their own 48-yard line, it's Jordan Love moving, Musgrave in motion, hands it off to Josh Jacobs. He's going to get about 2. So the Commanders have got to take the time out there. Looks like they do. For those of you turning in, this is the Dustytron channel. We post football content all throughout the season. If you like what you're seeing, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We post game picks every week. We post power rankings every week. And we'll be running live reaction streams like the one you're watching right now. You are listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live. It is 27-18 Packers over the Commanders. All right, here we go. 2nd and 8. It's play action. They're putting the ball in the air. Jordan Love does the smart thing and goes down. But they will have to run another play before the 2-minute warning. He loses a lot of yards on the sack, though, so getting the first down probably isn't going to happen here. But yeah, no, worst thing you can do in this situation is throw an incomplete pass. He does the right thing and just slides down and takes the sack. It's a 3rd and 21, so odds are they're probably just going to run the ball with Jacobs and take it to the 2-minute warning. But the Commanders will get the ball back. And there's the handoff. Jacobs gonna keep pushing forward. That might have been like a 10-yard pickup, but the result is still the same. We stop for the 2-minute warning at 1 minute and 56 seconds left in the game. It's 27-18. The Packers will punt the ball away to the Commanders. The Commanders will have another shot to put points on the board. We're almost nearing the end of this first live stream. It's been a decent game. I feel like this could have been more competitive. The Packers really controlled this game for most of it. The Commanders have been getting some garbage time stats here. But yeah, it was 27-10 and 17-3. The Packers just kind of had all the momentum. Yeah, it really, the turning point in this game, the inflection point here was when the Packers were up 17-10. The Commanders got that touchdown. The Commanders could not keep the Packers out of the end zone. The Packers get a touchdown, completely wipe away the momentum the Commanders had, and the Packers have kind of just ridden that for the rest of the game. Now, what the Commanders might do is try to get the field goal really quick here, and then they have to kick it onside anyway. Oh, that might have been offsides on the Commanders. We'll see. There's the punt, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So this will be coming out to the 20-yard line. It's 80 yards to the end zone for Washington. Move our little possession football. Whoop. Minute 47 seconds left. This is going to be quite a crazy finish if the Commanders can actually pull this off. If they at least get the Packers a little nervous with getting a score here and then going for another onside, that'd make for some interesting football. Make them a little bit nervous. All right, Jaden Daniels. He's in the backfield. Back to throw. Throws. Complete to Samuel. It's a very short pass. It's only going to get him 5 yards. That's not going to win you the game. You got to push it down the field. I know the defense is playing prevent, so you can't do that, but you can't do these 5-yard passes if you actually want to win the game. Daniels throws, gets it to Ertz. Yep, the Packers keeping them in the field to play so they can't get towards the sideline. Minute 15, they're playing well-disciplined football right here. And Daniels spikes the ball. One of the Packers tried to dive under it and intercept it. It was number 95. Who is that? That's Devontae Wyatt. He tried to dive and pick off the snap. And the spike. We've got 1 minute and 8 seconds left. Washington with no timeouts. They're on their own 33-yard line. Things are looking pretty bleak. Daniels has it. That looks like holding on Parsons there, but I don't see a flag. Tunsil had his hand all up in the shoulder pads of Parsons there. And I think that's, Devontae Wyatt makes another play there. Bats the ball down at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10. Minute and 4 left in the game. There's Daniels. Back to pass. Throws. It's too low for Ertz. And it's for 5 yards. Why are you throwing this? But this is the last gasp for the Commanders. 4th and 10. 57 seconds left in the game. And I am going to start my picks this week 1-0, as I had the Packers over the Commanders in this one. And there it is. Here it comes. Micah Parsons was getting there, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Deebo Samuel, and the Packers are going to be able to run this clock out. Yeah, Micah gets great penetration there, gets around Tunsil. Tunsil tries to hook his neck again, and yeah, he's relentless getting to the quarterback there. Daniels not able to step into this throw as much as he would have liked. Now, it's a bit of a rough game for Jaden Daniels. 2 kneels will take this game to its conclusion. There's the first kneel. And as they just do it again under 40 seconds, this game is over. Packers go to 2-0. Commanders will go down to 1-1. And there it is. This game is over. And I think the Packers really showed that they're a team to really, they're one of the top competitors in the league, in the NFC this year. This was a big statement win. Both of the first games of the season, they've beaten former playoff teams from last year. So, yeah, tough schedule, but they win both of the games. Clock goes to 0. The Packers are now 2-0. The Commanders fall to 1-1. Thanks for tuning in to the Dustytron channel tonight. We had a lot of fun streaming this. And be sure to tune in throughout the rest of the season. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. You'll be able to see our updates. The Packers, the final score, 27-18. Reminder, we will not be streaming next Thursday night football game. We'll be returning on week 4 for the Seahawks and the Cardinals. It's been great. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you next time on the Dustytron channel.